Tonight on the Black Channel. Eat this, drink this, sleep this, think this, breathe this, feel this, live this, love this. Everything we are. The Black Channel is live. Unapologetic, unadulterated, unconfused, and totally uncompromising. Greetings, brothers and sisters from around the world, and welcome back to the home, the haven, the stronghold, and the everlasting super fortress of intelligent black thought. We are B1. And this is the Black Channel, and I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the voice of Black America, the Black Authority, broadcasting to you live from the only historically black college university of higher education and learning in the cosmos. All others I teach. You are, of course, welcome to join us. And join us you shall, although I cannot guarantee that you will necessarily learn. You will certainly have the opportunity to do so. And of course, I got a few things I'd like to get off my chest. First and foremost here, in case you were not aware, there's some side hating going on. Of course, you should obviously know that there. So YouTube is doing their thing. It's some side hating going on. My video that I did about the Black News Network, the Black News Channel, the video I did about that, YouTube said there was hate speech in there. And I'm like, what in the hell are you talking about? What nonsense is this? So they said that they manually reviewed it and that there's hate speech in it, though nobody could tell me what it was. So obviously the hating continues. But look, if they're this mad at you, it must be because you're doing something right. So go ahead and make sure you share the program if folks are looking for it tonight. I'll post it all on social media. You can go ahead and look for it tonight, but we're not going to slow anything here down. We're going to do what we got to do here. So only a minor speed bump in the road. So for everybody else who's out there watching and looking and everything, hashtags up, you know how it is. All right, let's go ahead and deal with a few things here, first of all. And I'm just going to tell you right now, tonight's program, you're going to catch some feelings. There are some folks who are going to catch some feelings. No doubt about it. So, be that as it may, if they're going to be mad, they're going to be big mad. Earlier this week, you know me, I'm just doing what I do. And there were some folks who wanted some clarity on what B1 means, and I provided that clarity for them. It's not my fault. It ain't my fault if they didn't know there was going to be clarity provided, but we went ahead and we did that for them. Let me go ahead and explain the other part of this here. In the process of doing so, what happens is it yanks up the rug, and folks who are haters, folks who think they've been cozying up to me or whatever, follow me on social media and things, they cozy up, and then they think at times like this they're going to have an opportunity to take advantage. And then on the low, you'll start seeing them putting in, sneak dissing and side hating and saying little things and trying to make it seem like, they're not hating and whatnot. Oh, I just wish y'all would fall back on this, that, and the other. I'm like, okay, I'm watching things here. Let me be very, very clear about something right quick, okay? Let me be very, very clear about this. It's not going to be a situation where I watch Johnny come latelys walk into the room and define these things. Their job is to learn. If they don't, that's perfectly fine. They can go ahead and not learn somewhere else. For those of you who've been there and going to get things done, we're going to get things done. And that's just the bottom line. And we're going to continue doing so. But this isn't entertainment for us. This ain't entertainment for us. A bunch of folks who were in diapers or in elementary school when we started this. This isn't entertainment for us. We don't want to spin our wheels and go around in circles. We don't have the time for that. So the folks who they come from the Instagram era and they're okay just sitting around spinning their wheels. That ain't us. That's not us. I meant what I said a decade ago. That it is past time for us to have a black civil war. I don't want to hear anybody talking peace. Not when there's folks who are off code, not when there's folks who are off base, not when there's folks who are sitting up here clout chasing and attention whoring. Oh, no, 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 no. We ain't gonna have a breakdown. We're gonna have a crackdown. We didn't come here to make friends and buddies. We came here to make empowerment. And I am going to call a clear line between me and them. I am going to draw a clear distinction between me and them at every turn. I'm not going to mince words. I'm not going to mince words. No, this is the time and this is the place and this is the season and the reason for us to make sure that everybody understands what the stakes really, really are. Now, what I want to do right here is I want to say something. I couldn't help but notice there have been some folks here, and like I say, really, in reality, what you doing is side hating, because let's just be clear, you don't really fool with me like that. You don't really fool with me like that. You don't really, the problem is some of my positions on things, you call a fade from it. You kind of hit you in the jaw from it, and you don't really fool with me like that. It's been folks for years, you don't really rock with us like that, but me in particular, you take grievous exception. You don't like the fact that I say old niggas. You don't like the fact I say bastard baby makers. You don't like the fact that I call hoes hoes. You don't like the fact I call them coons and don't back down. So you sit here and you tolerate it. You show up every once in a while, throw your fingers up, and you don't really fool with me like that. And you know what? I'm fine with it. I'd just as soon not have you around to begin with, because just understand, this is not something where I sit up here and sell this to you. Our survival isn't something I'm going to sell to you. Weak niggas who don't really belong at the table, and yet they feel like they got a spot at the table because I didn't change the locks on you. But the truth of the matter is, this is the seat of the 5-star general and you's a buck private. Let me be very, very clear. You's a buck private. How you gonna sit up here and embark out orders is really not gonna happen. Now, there's 3 people in particular who will remain nameless. No, not Tariq. Before you even try that nonsense, not Tariq, not Professor Truth. No, these are folks here on my social media. And I'm not going to shout out your name because you would be clout chasing even more. Not going to shout out your name. But let's be clear, I seen your side hating. And when you see somebody jump up and they want to talk about infighting, first of all, there's no way in the world that I can be infighting with a bunch of teeny boppers who just got some attention 2 or 3 days ago. You have to be on the inside before we can be infighting. How the hell you gonna talk like that? I can't be infighting with people on the outside. They're not part of the group. They steer nothing. They call no hands. They run nothing. Ain't no infighting with niggas on the outside looking in. Ain't no infighting with niggas on the outside looking in. Not gonna happen. By the way, I see some scandalous names in the room now, as a matter of fact. Niggas think I don't know. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm the single most informed person you know of. I'm the single most informed person you know of. I see haters in the room now. You think Twitter is such a huge place that niggas, the word don't get around to niggas? You think Twitter is this gigantic place and the word don't get around? You think the streets ain't already been talking? You really think that Twitter is this gigantic place where you can just sit up here and say whatever and hide out? Please, just because I ain't sat up here and squashed you don't mean I ain't seen it. What I'm saying is you're an insect. I don't worry about gnats flying around as long as they're outside the house. I don't worry about gnats flying around. Come on. You're a household pest and you think Jason don't see me. I see you. It's just you're inconsequential. But by the way, I see some of y'all in here now. Ooh, is it really me? Yeah, it's really you. I'm not going to say your name. If I do, you're in real trouble. But in any case, ain't worried about it. But there's a handful of folk here, and if you think I'm not aware of what you trying to do, how are you going to sit up here and frame the narrative? You see, we're making our own narrative here. You're not qualified to do that. Just because you're a groupie of mine, just because you are a follower of mine, that doesn't elevate. Groupies don't get elevated to the level of being able to choose the direction. Groupies don't get to do that. So how in the world are you going to be a buck private and you going to wag your finger at the general talking about infighting? It's not infighting. I'm clearing the ranks of noise. I can't be infighting with people who ain't on the inside. I'm clearing out infiltrators, would-be infiltrators. That's what I'm doing. But let me also be clear about this. We need to clear the air when there's confusion and misconceptions. We need to do that. That's not optional. We need to clear the air when folks are trying to sow confusion. And some of you gossipy bitty bodies sitting up here and whatnot and got my name in your mouth or sitting up here posting about me, whatever, sitting up here trying to play peacemaker and pretending to play peacemaker because you're not doing it legitimately. That's not your reason. You think what you're doing is you think that you are on the slick trying to diminish my reputation or my image. That's what you think you're doing. You think that, oh, well, hey, you know, I'm just speaking in everybody's self-interest. Jason need to back down with all that right there now. Jason need to fall back with all that. You know, you're going too hard on it, Jason. You're going too hard on it now. It's not because you give a damn about that. It's like you think you saw an opportunity. You think you saw an opening. What I'm here to tell you is, it ain't an opening. See, you trying to get people to pipe, you trying to get us to pipe down. You know what you sound like? You sound like them old niggas of the civil rights generation. Don't y'all be starting no trouble now. Don't y'all be doing that. Y'all need to quit all that right there. Don't y'all be starting no trouble now. Nigga, I came to start trouble. What are you talking about? I came to start trouble. I didn't come to end the damn thing. I came to shake it up. I came to overturn the apple cart. I came to destroy the status quo. I came to rumble, nigga. I came to rumble. You looking for somebody to sit back and be quiet? Keep looking. You ain't found them. I'm ready to rumble. That's the whole reason I showed up. You ain't hear them pipes on that Tahoe? That's the whole damn reason I showed up. Shout out Grind Time. Shout out Grind Time in the super chat. That's the whole damn reason I showed up here. So for somebody to sit up here and show up at the last damn minute and you think you're going to quiet us down, well, you know you need to quiet down with that, man. Nigga, you in the wrong place. Hell no. I'm bringing more smoke than the turkey leg hut. What you talking about? Absolutely not. No. You see, this is how stuff gets messed up, is when you let it get 10 and 20 miles down the damn road. How are you going to tell me I'm wrong for setting the record straight? Hell no, set the record straight. And as far as the young niggas is concerned, let's be very, very clear. There's a purpose that those of us who are established, when you dealing with the dudes who are established, the OGs on the block, you see, black society don't have OGs like that anymore. They don't have the head of the community anymore because the damn heads of the community are trying to be popular with the young bucks. We're supposed to be distinguishing ourselves from the young bucks, and the young bucks will not like us. They will respect us. I don't want to be liked by them. All I need to be is respected, and respect isn't something I'm going to have to ask for. I know I'm teaching y'all something new right now. See, we ain't had a bunch of shot callers on the block like we used to have. Look here, I'm fully vested. I ain't got a damn thing to prove to some 17-year-old sitting with borrowed their mama's iPhone 6 to go post on Twitter. I don't have a damn thing to prove to them. I've already got my stripes. He's trying to figure out what the only stripes he got is when his mama laid the belt on his ass. I'm not worried about that. Too many of y'all are sitting up here and you've lost track of the fact that you're grown ass people and you're trying to sit up here and be popular with kids. No, when you get established shot callers, everybody's supposed to be coming to us to find out what the word is. They're supposed to come to us to find out what the word is. How is it somebody's going to sit up here and we gave you the word and you're going to go redefine it? Oh, hell no. We got to clear you off the block. You got to get off the block. No. You don't sit up here and let youngsters sit up here and ride their damn tricycles down the block. We ain't doing that. No, we're not doing that. So when I see some of you fake folks sitting out here showing up on my timeline and whatnot, keep my name out your mouth. Keep my name out your mouth. You're not being legit. You're not being legit. You are not being honest. You're not being sincere, and you're not legitimate. You don't mean it the way you saying it. What you think you're doing is diminishing me on some other side here, trying to act like there's something wrong. I haven't done anything wrong at all. I ain't did a damn thing wrong. There is no infighting over here. You wish there were some infighting. There isn't. As a matter of fact, the folk talking about y'all shouldn't be infighting. Nigga, you on the outside. You ain't carrying no weight. I don't know who fooled you into believing you did, but nigga, you ain't carrying no weight. Nobody's sitting up here saying, damn, I sure do wish cuz over here would say something about this. Man, there's a reason why you grouping it on me. Nobody's looking at you to say anything. They don't even know who you are. Not one person you're going to bail out of jail. Not one person you're getting a billboard for. Not one person you're going to raise the profile of. Nothing you talking about gets raised. You've been swinging off my drawers for a decade. Nothing you saying has gotten raised. How the hell you gonna show up in 2022 and all of a sudden you calling shots now from your keyboard? Nigga, fall back. Fall back. See, this is that Ralph Abernathy, Al Sharpton, Andrew Young stuff right here. Niggas who was standing next to Dr. King or who was carrying his luggage back in the day. Dr. King's like, oh no, that was my luggage boy. Really? Well, he's a reverend now and he leads the movement. Wait a minute, how the hell did my damn luggage boy lead the movement? Well, you got killed, so he leads the movement now. Really? See, that's the way those things happen. Shout out to everybody in the super chat here tonight. This channel here actually has super chat available. So how the hell you gonna be my damn buggy boy carrying the luggage and now all of a sudden you reinvent yourself a few years later and you're leading? Yeah, when he's not around, you lead. And see, here's what happened. And this is what I said from the very beginning here. The real issue is I fell back from all that. I fell back. I got real stuff to take care of. Unlike a lot of these niggas who can live on the internet, I got real stuff to do. I got real things to take care of. I don't have time to sit up here and do this 24 hours a day, man. I got real folk to talk to. I'm fighting with a damn banker now. I got real things to take care of. I don't have time to sit on damn Twitter all the damn time. What's that going to get me? I can't do that. So niggas who can sit up here on Twitter for 2 and 3 days straight, just back-to-back marathons talking about me. Back-to-back marathons. What does that tell you? You're talking about somebody who's legit, and you are correct. You should be. But you're here to learn. And to the side haters who've been walking next to me all this time and whatnot, nigga, I seen y'all. I've been seeing you. But don't think you're going to sit up here and start saying it now. So I just want you all to understand that. You see anybody talking about mentioning my name and sitting up here trying to act like, oh, well, Jason needs to calm down with this, that, and the other, and B1 needs to fall back with that. Man, look here. We see you hating ass. I ain't worried about it. I see you hating ass. Now, I want y'all to understand I ain't co-signing it just because I'm not sitting up here dragging them out. Just because I'm not up here sitting them dragging them out, I'm depending on y'all to sit up here and recognize, hey, Jason already called that. Jason already called that. See, in black society, we ain't had shot callers. We ain't had shot callers who they get on the block and then they run the damn block. I got respect for New York, but New York needs some shot callers up there like they used to have. See, when black folk was really progressing, you had shot callers. If you want to take a look at the rise of hip hop and rap music, man, that was the hustlers and the shot callers. That was a direct result of the hustlers and the shot callers. Direct result. Back in the 70s and every damn thing else, from the fight game to the disco game to the music game, when we had shot callers and ballers, we had people on the block, we had dudes, their paper was straight, whether it was from dope dealing or anything else. We had shot callers running that when we were doing that. You know when things broke down? When you allowed the teeny boppers to sit up here and throw up their Instagram accounts. Next thing you know, that's it. It's a damn free-for-all. The baby mamas, they children grow up and they've got no discipline whatsoever. They don't discipline themselves to anything. They're not building nothing. They just doing like they trashy ass mamas and squilling and squawking and gossiping all the damn time. A grown ass man's gonna run up and say, hey, back up all that damn gossiping y'all doing. This is off code as hell. Back up off that damn gossiping. There's nothing masculine about that. Back up on all that. They respond like they mamas. They start squealing and crying and screaming like they mammies. Look here, you in the presence of grown ass men. We don't roll like that. We don't roll like that. So no, we got to be uncompromising to let them know this is the code. This is the way. Y'all like to talk about those movies from the 70s and whatnot. Talking about the Superfly and the Mac and whatnot. Nigga, you know the rules. Your broad chose me. You know the rules. The worst thing we could do right now is start to compromise on this. So if you want Jason Black's position, my position in this, hell no, you niggas know the rules. You know the rules. And if you didn't know, you damn sure do now. You know the rules. New York used to be the spot. New York is in disarray now because ain't nobody laying down no rules. So it's damn me Mad Max out here. It's anarchy. On the West Coast rose to prominence after New York fell off. You know why? Because the West Coast had rules. They got hierarchy. Niggas know what the rules are. They know who the shot callers are. They know who's in charge. That's what you're supposed to have when you got seniority. For those of us who done put in decades of work, we got our seniority on this. We got our rank on this. I'm calling shots on this. And I don't have to tell you I am. The fact that I'm telling you, I felt like DMX. I fell back. I hadn't hosted a Twitter space in weeks. I didn't host a Twitter space in weeks. I show up and next thing you know, done shut Twitter down. I showed up and next thing you know, we shut Twitter down. And all I had to do was say, yeah, I got something to say tonight. Next thing you know, Twitter is shut down. I feel like DMX. I'm the only nigga you know who can chill. Come back and get the streets open. I was gone for weeks. All I had to do was just show up one time and the streets was open. Yeah, that's what the result of putting in your time and being reliable and respected and not just sitting up here gossiping your ass off somewhere. And one day, if you sit down and get trained and coached by a nigga who knows, one day you might end up where I am. Maybe you will have the level of respect that I've gotten over all this time. But I didn't get this because I sit up here being no damn gossipy granny. I didn't get it because I sit up here talking about semantics. See, you think you're carving out some intellectual real estate by fighting and arguing over semantics. And what they didn't like was I said, you know what? I don't worry about semantics. You can call it whatever you want to call it. All I want to know is whatever name you want, we'll settle on it. Now, what are we going to do? And you all who have listened to that Twitter space for 3 damn straight nights, it didn't matter who it was. When you asked them, what are we going to do now that we agree on whatever label you want to make? Their answer was, well, not really sure. And that was what broke them. That was what they're saying. I humiliated them, that I didn't want to listen to them. No, it's because you need to just be quiet and learn. When somebody asks you, what are we going to do? You need to be ready to answer that question immediately. If you're going to tell folks that you've got the right way, you need to be able to immediately tell them what we're going to do. And you don't have a clue. What you really mean is when we finish talking, we're going to keep talking some more. That's what we're going to do next. And you didn't like the fact that I came in the room and said, hey, talking forever is not an agenda. The agenda shouldn't be bumping your gums. And what you need are the older established cats who've actually got wins under their belts and championship belts under their belts. That's what you need. You need some cats who got their championships to sit up here and explain to you, hey, if you trying to come up, we'll show you the right way to come up. But this is spinning your wheels. This is spinning your wheels. And so some of the side haters on social media, like I say, you are not fooling me and you're not fooling anybody else. So I just want y'all to be aware. Anybody sitting up here showing up, talking about that garbage, I just want you to be aware. Don't pay them niggas no mind. They think they gonna hate on me on the sneak. They think they're gonna hate on me on the side. Because you're not talking about, you're not really interested in stopping no, quote, infighting. Because to try to sit up here and say that they're on my level, no, there is no infighting. There is no infighting. My last Twitter space was literally 6 damn hours long with me pointing out, by the way, you realize we're talking in circles, right? You realize you've explained the same thing 7, 8, 12, 15 times, right? Yeah, that's not infighting. This type of confusion, when you allow this type of confusion to fester for any length of time, this is what leads to widespread dissidence. This is what leads to widespread disorganization. When you watch confusion growing and then you just ignore the damn thing. No, we can't coexist. I can coexist with somebody who doesn't know and wants to learn. I cannot coexist with confusion. I cannot coexist with confusion. I can't do that. That's not something I can coexist with. So I do understand that there are folks out there who don't like it. I do understand that. And what I'm saying right now is we did everything we are supposed to be doing. You see, this is how you get heresy and apostasy. Look it up. This is how you get individuals corrupting an original teaching, a teaching that works. They take something that works and here they come along and they screw it up in their little schizophrenic screw brains. And the next thing you know, you got confusion. Now you have something that used to work and it doesn't work anymore. See, that's the reason why you got to step in and stop the confusion early, because that's how you take something that used to work and it used to serve you, and now it's broken and confused and it doesn't work and it doesn't serve you anymore. Next thing you know, everybody just throws the whole damn thing out. This is how people wind up giving up on something and throwing the whole damn thing out. That's why I step in here early. And I'm like, hey, you got to stomp this out early. You got to stamp this out in his crib. You can't let this get down the damn road. You can't let this go rolling down the damn road and, well, we'll try to figure it out later. The hell we will. The hell we will. We're dealing with this right here. No. It might hurt your little feelings to find out that whatever you were thinking or you were feeling or you were believing was completely empty and vapid. Yeah, we're explaining to you right here, right now. We're not going to get 10 miles down the road. If you're talking in endless babble circles, I'm going to explain it to you right now. Yeah, you're talking in endless babble circles. You really are. You really are. And also, the only folk I respect individuals who stop quickly. See, a bunch of you, if you were, let me just go ahead and be real about it. If you were raised by some hood rat ass mammy and she spent her life back talking to people. She spent her life back talking to people but accomplishing nothing. You sat there from the time you were a baby to the time you were an adult, listening to her neck jerking, arguing with other silly, destitute hoes, arguing over semantics. She refused to accept when she was wrong about anything. You need to stop smoking. You don't need to leave your kids in the car. You don't need to leave your kids at home alone. You shouldn't be fooling with that broke, unemployed nigga over there in and out of jail. She just wouldn't be told nothing. She's always sitting around redefining things. You know what? We talk about prison babble. We need to talk about this old church babble. We talk about prison babble, y'all. We need to talk about Bible study babble. And some of the females who they've been going to church and Bible study all their damn lives. And all they've really learned how to do is become professional arguers. So they argue over every damn thing and try to convince you that there's some hidden meaning and some hidden truth behind every damn thing they talk about and look at. Some of these deaconesses at the church are just as bad as the niggas who are locked up, and y'all know I'm telling the truth. A bunch of these deaconesses at the church and the little old ladies in the church, boy, you go to their house and they'll sit there and read to you the Bible from Genesis to Revelation. Sit there and talk and go on and on and on and on. And then the pastor is rolling the damn Rolls Royce and she's catching the damn bus. And you sitting up like, hey, how does that compute? And then she'll talk your damn ear off about why that's okay. Just like the niggas in prison. Just like the ones in prison. I'm not going for Bible study babble. I ain't going for it. A bunch of y'all were raised by females who their only claim to fame is that they can argue with a stop sign. That's all she can do. Now you're on the internet arguing with stop signs. And instead of listening to somebody sit there and say, hey, back up off all that. Now you like, ooh, good, somebody else I can argue with. No. And yes, y'all can stop that stuff. I know once Tariq said what he said, next thing you know, they started going in on him. So like I say, this is what happens when you have a situation with individuals who can't be taught, can't be trained, can't be gamed up. Like I say, 1 minute they smiling in your face, but if you don't say what they young and don't know, or they old and don't know, because there was a bunch of old niggas over there, and there's where the problem comes from. These old niggas reinforcing their failed philosophies among these young folk. Niggas that we ran off the block a decade ago. We ran them off the block a decade ago. And yet here they are. They back again. They haven't built anything. They're just as broke, bummy, and dusty as they were 20 years ago when we started this. Only now they found a new group of young folk, and before they can even get off the ground good, it's a bunch of old niggas sitting among them, telling them about what they don't need to do. You don't really need to worry. Sitting up here esotericizing everything into oblivion. Now it just becomes this eternal debate club. Now they debate about which is the better word to use. Do you all understand how criminally stupid that is? To sit up and argue about which is the better word to use. You'll have two words that mean the same thing, and then they will sit there and argue you until Judgment Day over etymology and phonics and over which of the two words that mean exactly the same thing that you should be using. Do you understand how ridiculous that is? So you are wasting precious minutes, hours, and years when you could be marching. They see us marching, they see us getting things done, and they're just sitting over there arguing. You need some OGs to run up and say, hey, we ain't about all this battle y'all doing. This ain't what we do. This ain't what we do. All this damn debate classing, that's not what we do. That ain't what we do. We get right to the business. We get right to work. We ain't up here to sit up here and jaw jack all year. See, y'all recognize that when it's time to do business. When you tell somebody what the price of something is, you know when you got somebody who's ready to do business because they break bread. As soon as you say what the price is, they break bread. The money gets moving. See, that's when you know somebody there for business. Somebody who's not there for business, you tell them what the price is, and all of a sudden they start talking. Remember what I taught you all, when you're dealing with something that requires numbers, that the conversation's supposed to go real quickly. But when you tell somebody something that requires numbers, and then they start saying words, that's a problem. When you say something about numbers and then next thing you know, they start dropping a whole bunch of words on you, that's a problem. That's a problem. So we need to get in here early, and I'll take responsibility that maybe these were things I was not engaging on soon enough, long enough, whatever. But let me be also very clear in this. There ain't no holes in the game. There are no holes in the game. The reason why this thing caught on and has held people for decades like it has is because it's rock solid. You can depend on it. Ain't no holes in it. You can't improve on it. It works. It works. There are no holes in it. It has its integrity. But the only way that you can be relevant is if you come along and tell people that this thing that has no holes, no flaws, it has its integrity, somehow there's something wrong with it. Now, nobody can see it, but you're trying to tell them, oh, yeah, but it could go wrong, though. Well, how could it go wrong? Well, if it turns into something else, we're not going to turn into something else. Yeah, but if it did turn into something else, but we're not going to turn into something else. But it could, it could turn into something else. Okay, but if it's something else, then you need to fight against that. This is what it is. That over there is what that is. We're not going to become that. Well, you see what it could be. Here comes the prison babble. Here comes the prison babble. No, you see, we need some older dudes and some shot callers to come up on the block and reestablish order. No, this is what the hell we built for. What the hell have I been doing for the last 20 years if I'm going to let the block degenerate into chaos and anarchy? What the hell was I doing all this for? You damn right I'm rolling up tough. You damn right I am. You damn right I'm rolling up hard. You damn right I am. We're stomping this out early. We stomping this out early. Ain't gonna be no 20 years of discussion about this. We're stomping this out early. Ain't no need to sit up here and keep going. No, when I see that happening right there, no, and don't tell me about no damn all these folk, some of the fraudulent people. Some of the fraudulent people, let me tell you, you ain't in no position to sit up here and try to lecture anybody on anything. You're not relevant enough to be able to do that. You need to be sitting over there in the stands with them kids so you can learn. The only thing you can do is rally behind the banner. That's all you can do. You can't do nothing else besides that. You can't do nothing but rally behind the banner because you still learning. Instead, you're sitting back there hating and you're telling yourself while you're standing in your drawers in the middle of the living room floor. You're standing in your drawers in the middle of the living room floor. Your woman's sitting there looking at you like, oh, here he goes in his George Jefferson routine again. Looking like Biggie Smalls wearing your tighty whities. Trying to sit up here and tell yourself, well, if I was in Jason's position, this is what I would do. Nigga, you've had as much time as I have. Some of you niggas are older than I am. If you knew how to get in this position, what the hell stopped you? Hell, you got internet access now and people aren't flocking to you today. If you really were on it like that, they would be flocking to you now. They're not coming to you now. Ain't nobody seeking you out like that. They've got every chance and they've had every opportunity. Let me try this again. Nigga, if people were going to stop listening to me and come listen to you, they've had years to do that. Please get over yourself. You're just making yourself look like a fool. If they really wanted to listen to you, if they really thought you were on point, you've been here forever, they could have switched over at any time. They could have switched from Coca-Cola to Pepsi anytime they wanted to. They ain't did it yet. It isn't because they don't know you're there. It's because they saw it and they weren't impressed. And they said, ain't nothing like the real thing. And that's real talk, nigga. And that's real talk. You can fantasize all you want to about the day that you get this type of rep for you. You can fantasize about that, but dude, you done had forever to make it pop off. You've had forever to make it pop off. It never did. So sitting up here side hating and acting like you're going to turn this into something it isn't, like somehow you know better what should be done. If you had that option, you'd have been did it. People would have been listening to you by now. They're not. Yo, Day, let me just be very, very clear with you. The folks who's sitting up here posting about me and talking about infighting, you had your chance. The train has left the station. Your day ain't never coming. Not now, not ever. You were talking about me a decade ago. You were talking about me a year ago. You talking about me this week. You'll be talking about me a year, a decade, 30 years from now. Guess what's not going to happen? People are not going to be coming to you to find out what you think about anything. They'll come to you to find out what I think. They won't be coming to you to find out what you think. And that's not me being arrogant. I'm just saying. DJ Yella made his own solo album. Just saying. Just saying. There's a whole bunch of folks made their own solo albums. I think all the dudes in NSYNC made their own solo albums. How'd that work out? How'd that work out? You can tell yourself it's going to pop off all you want to. Go right ahead. Go right ahead. There's some folk in the chat room saying, DJ Yella made a solo album? That was just how great the album was. Some of them gonna have to go Google it. For the E, some of them gonna have to go Google it. DJ Yella made his own album? Yeah, okay. All right. Okay. Go ahead and keep telling yourself that. Now, what I'm doing is I'm setting the damn record straight. You see, I don't talk about myself a lot. I don't have to. I don't sit up here and brag on myself. I don't have to. The only thing I'm interested in are my accomplishments. That's it. And for somebody to sit up here and say that I'm not doing it right, you got to prove that to me. You're going to have to prove that to me. You got to prove that to me. You don't get to just show up here at the last damn minute and then all of a sudden you're going to jump up and say, oh, I think I see an opportunity to sit up here and deflate Jason's swag some, and by under the guise of pretending to be some type of, I just want everybody to calm down. Man, no, damn calming down. Turn up. Damn calming down. Turn up. Turn up. Damn that. We turning up. See, this is the kind of thing I don't like. A decade ago, 2 decades ago, all these other niggas had an opportunity to do what we did in the new black media. You been had your chance. You been had your chance. If you were really going to get motivated and make it happen, you'd have already had that. You'd have already had that. I'm not going to have anybody jump up here and talk about 20 years later and whatnot, hating on what we've done. Hating on what we built. There's a reason that folk turn to us. It isn't just because we've been here forever, because there's a lot of niggas who've been out here. I'm not going to say no names. Jason, is you side hating? No, it's because y'all are going to really be mad if I start saying names. Y'all know full damn well in the chat room how many niggas started out with us 14 years ago. How many names did you see 14 years ago? All I'm going to say is niggas was debating and niggas was online and they were posting videos and yelling and this back and forth and this, that, and the other. Yeah, 14 years ago, there were a lot of names. There were a lot of names 14 years ago. How many of those names is anybody still talking about today? How many? Well, I will submit to you that real lasts. And if nobody is relying on those names today, and a bunch of them are still out there, but ain't nobody checking for them and nobody's relying on them. There's only a small few. It's only a few niggas left. Just a few. There were literally dozens of names 14 years ago. People had every opportunity to abandon us and get with one of them if they wanted something quote, nicer and less harsh and more obligatory and black mother queen goddess Mayat Hotep kiss me ass. They could have done all of that right there. There's a reason why it's only a few left. There's a reason why it's only a few left. And I'm going to say something else. You all keep elevating names and putting folks' names next to me that you shouldn't be doing. So let me clear the record for you all right now. There are only 2 names that you can put next to Jason Black. Tariq Nasheed, Black Truth, and anything else. I'm just going to tell y'all right now, you need to check with me to make sure you got my rubber stamp that you can do that, because y'all keep doing that a lot. We don't need to expand the tent, to be totally honest. Clear and concise. I'm just going to say y'all keep throwing names next to me that I haven't really signed off on. Just because I retweet something or just because I do something else, that does not qualify as an endorsement. And a bunch of y'all keep doing that because you're here for entertainment, so you want to get groupied up with somebody. I ain't here to get groupied up with nothing. So if you want me to go ahead and be real for you and lay it down, okay, I'm going to go ahead and lay it down. Nigga, I don't care where you see me or what you think it is. As far as the new black media is concerned, I really don't think you can mention my name next to anybody else. And if you do, it's only going to be Tariq or Professor Truth. Anybody else beyond that, dude, I got to see some more stripes. I got to see some more stripes. So some of y'all need to stop with the getting groupied up. You really need to quit with that. Y'all naming off I see niggas name off a bunch of names, especially with a couple of cats in there and whatnot, who I'm like, wait a minute, I don't rock with this nigga at all. I don't rock with this nigga at all. Is he still married to that Mexican woman? How the hell you gonna squeeze him next to me? Who the hell's doing that? Which one of you, how you slow bus children gonna sit up here and do that with me? How you gonna do that with me? And in the chat room, I see some dumbasses talking about ain't no and. I meant what I said. I meant what I said. If you don't like it, well, I guess you got a problem. Some of y'all are in there smoking crack and sitting up here snorting cocaine off your mama's belly. You might want to quit doing that. I ain't signed off on anything else. So you can stop with the cocaine-induced delusion in my chat room. I didn't add a and. I didn't add a and. If that bothers you, so be it. You got to earn that slot. You got to earn it. You got to earn it. And I'm not the one who gives it to you. You got to earn that there. But what I also understand is there's a bunch of you. If I see you saying names like that, I understand you hating too. It's like, I don't really like that Jason. I really don't like him. So I want to include some other names so that hopefully if we keep piggybacking this person's name off of Jason, hopefully they'll get bigger than Jason. And then we can stop mentioning Jason altogether. Then hopefully we can do that all together. That's the real reason you keep trying to do that. So I've explained to you exactly what it is. I've explained to you exactly what it is. You ain't got to like it. You don't have to like it. Just because you've been silly and delusional, that doesn't change the reality. I don't have to diss anybody. I don't have to diss anybody about that, folks. If you don't hear me saying a nigga's name, I'm trying to tell you something. If you don't see me saying a nigga's name and you know, wait a minute, that don't sound quite right. I'm not saying it for a reason. Jason must have seen or heard something. And all I'm doing is doing what G's do. I'm just slowly backing out the room. I'm just slowly backing out the room is what I'm doing. That's all. I'm bigger than the side hating. I don't do no beefing or nothing like that. I'm just easing on back out the room because that's what we do. That's what we do. I'll leave the hating to somebody else. I'm just easing on out the room. That's all. Too many of y'all come to the internet to get damn me entertained. That offends the hell out of me. I'm very offended by individuals looking to be entertained. That offends the hell out of me. I ain't up for it. So for those of you who want to be entertained, you found the wrong dude. You found the wrong dude. Don't sit up here and grab me and put it next just because you're intellectually lazy. And you sit up here and play that game of, well, they say some things that sound right. They say some things. Man, if you don't sit your ass down, I'm just saying there's a whole bunch of the lead pipe water babies. And I mean it the hell the way I said it. A bunch of y'all were raised, you've been drinking water from lead pipes, you've been raised in lead paint, your mama was on the pipe, your mama's on the bottle, and then you come to the internet and somebody says one thing that sounds halfway sensible, and then you piggyback it off of somebody who has complete integrity. You try to piggyback it off of somebody who's completely built and say, we the same? The hell we are. We are nowhere near the same. And I will say something else here tonight. I am usually pretty good about this, but I'm going to say this on this one night in particular. You won't see me say this a bunch of times, but I will say this on one night in particular here. Anybody who wants to dispute what I had to say, my ideology has full integrity. My ideology has full integrity. You can't really find anything that sits up here and has a problem. My stuff ain't really got no flaws. My stuff ain't really got no flaws. It really, really doesn't. You can't really point to anything that I've said or promote that actually has any flaws to it. You really can't. There's plenty of opportunities. You've had plenty of opportunity to show that there's something wrong with it. There really isn't. There really isn't. It really ain't there. If I wanted to be popular, this would be a whole different damn thing. If I wanted to be popular, this would be a whole different damn thing. I'd be talking totally different. I'd be talking totally different if I wanted to be popular. I ain't trying to be popular like that. I ain't trying to be popular like that. But if we gonna keep it all the way real, in reality, my ideology ain't got no holes in it. My ideology ain't got no holes in it. If it did, somebody would have been able to disprove it a long damn time ago. They would have been able to disprove it a long damn time ago. That's real talk. If they could have done it, they would have done it a long damn time ago. But they didn't. And there's a reason for that. So if you want to know where the hell I come down on it, in reality, I'm being nice when I say, well, sometimes you can have a difference of opinion. Let me be very, very clear. The folks who got a difference of opinion, you're just plain ass wrong. If you could show me where there was a flaw in it, where there's a superior working model, you would have done it. See, this is where we get into real damn trouble. Folks who don't like what I have to say because it sounds like hard ass work. And you don't like that. Being a hoe is easy. Oh, hell, I'm going to lose some subscribers on that one right there. Oh, well. I went out with a bang. Being a hoe is easy. Being lazy is easy. Being shiftless and unproductive is easy. Being a crackhead is easy. Making excuses to your kids and your grandkids is easy. Sitting up babbling all damn day and talking in circles is very easy, very tiring, but very easy to do. Actually having to come up with a workable plan and then sit back and say, okay, and now we are going to sit still and wait for the results, that's damn hard. That's damn hard. That is hard as hell. And I've been doing it now, going on 2 decades online and longer than that in real life. I've been doing that the whole damn time. So yeah, we need some folks to set the record straight on these things. And understand, I'm not talking about what happened on Twitter Space. What I'm talking about is for folks here who are, when you have a situation where you need some folks in charge, we need folks in charge on the block is what we need. We need dudes who run their block is what we need. We need folks who run the block. In the chat room, when you talking about Dr. Claude Anderson and Neely Fuller, let's keep it all the way real. It was the new black media that established that. It was the real black media who established that and put the polish on it, because you found some dudes who there wasn't a bunch of holes in the game like that. You found some dudes that there wasn't a bunch of holes in the damn game. We found folks who had integrity. We found folks who the ideology was solid. Not necessarily perfect, but it was solid. You can live with this. You can run with this. This works. And they gained our respect. We didn't sit up here and say, well, here's a couple of issues. Here's a couple of areas where, I found some things that are not quite correct, or some things that might be contradictory and might not work as well. Y'all understand something? I have never sat up here and said one derogatory word about Neely Fuller. Not one. Are there some parts of the compensatory code system concept that I take issue with? Anyone who has followed me knows, yes, there are. Is there anything, would I ever sit up here and tell you that you should not abide, will I ever sit up here and tell you something derogatory about Neely Fuller? No, I will not. No, I will not. I do not agree with all of the ideologies of Dr. John Henry Clark. Now, that's going to surprise a lot of you. There's some parts in there that I don't agree with. And I mean in practice, not just in theory. There are some parts that I do not agree with in practice. I dare you to say a cross word about that man in my presence. I dare you to do so. You see, that's respect. That is respect. I'm not going to sit up here and have a falling out over nuances. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to have a falling out over nuances and semantics. I am not looking to replace Dr. Claude Anderson or Neely Fuller or Dr. Welsing or Dr. Clark. I'm not trying to replace them. I'm not sitting up here saying, let me get more likes than them on Twitter. What the hell are you talking about? See, that's the part I don't rock with. I can tell when your motives are pure. I talked to a bunch of people over the last 3 days, and you could tell the ones who had genuine motives, and then it wasn't very hard to figure out the ones who didn't. When something has been explained to you and then it was asked, okay, are there any errors or flaws in there? They tell you, well, no, there's not any errors or flaws. Well, can this work? Yeah, it can. So we can agree with this? Well, no, I really don't because, it could go wrong. Okay. If it turns into something else, it could go wrong. Yes. But if it stays what it is, it'll work. Yes. Then let's keep it what it is. No. Then you're not really dealing in good faith. And this is why you need the established, seasoned senior players on the block to make sure that things stay organized so that when folks come around with their jive talk, somebody shuts it down. When somebody rolls up with the jive talk, somebody got to come shut it down. This is how we get confusion. Somebody got to come shut it down. And make it very clear what the problem is. Jason, why did you stay there for 4 hours a night? I answered every single person who raised their hand on Twitter Space. That's why I was there for 4 hours the first night, 4 hours the second night, 6 hours the third night. I was just that dedicated to addressing any and all questions that a person might have had. I stayed there and answered every single person who raised their hand. And it took me half of a work shift, in one case 2/3 of a work shift, to be able to do it. And I did it. That's not somebody who is running from a conversation. That's not somebody who's running from clarity. That's not somebody who's trying to figure out his ideology, and nothing I said contradicted itself. Not one syllable I said contradicted itself. So how the hell you gonna come up now and try to think you're gonna show up on my timeline somewhere and lecture me? As if you're dealing in good faith and we all know you're not. How the hell you gonna try that? I respect people who think, and I respect people who have integrity. I don't boost everybody. I'm very particular and very discriminating in who I boost. I don't boost everybody. I don't do that. I have an open microphone for over a decade, people. I have an open microphone with no call screener. I do not filter calls. How the hell could I roll like this for over a decade and somebody hasn't come along and made a monkey of me? They've had too many damn opportunities. They could easily sum up in one sentence what is wrong. I summed it up for them in one sentence. Great, I agree with everything you're saying. Now that you're finished with that, what are we going to do? As soon as I said that, their entire ideology crumbled. That's me letting them know, hey, little daddy, your ideology's broken. Your ideology is broken. Now, if you are willing to let some older players who've already gotten their stripes game you up so you stop looking silly, we're going to get you built up. We're going to get you right. We're going to get you right. But you see, if you got too much of your mammy's energy in you, she couldn't be told nothing. Your grandmama couldn't be told nothing. Now you just grown into a young nigga who can't be told nothing. He'll sit around here and be wrong, and the only place where he doesn't get called out for being a fool is sitting around with other folk raised by other hoes who sit around talking in circles. As soon as they leave that circle and somebody says, hey, what are we going to do? Things fall silent. No, we setting up on the block. We setting up on the block. They feel some kind of way we ran them up off the block. Hey, we setting up on it. You can come back and resubmit your application. But what you're going to have to do is understand we deal in whole ideologies here. We deal in actionable, practical things. We don't deal in opinions. We don't want to hear you droning on for hours about semantics. We're not interested in your spiritual connection to an etymology. You think that's going to be a substitute for doing something substantive. It don't work that way. So if you want to know where I stand on the situation, we are making our own narrative and you're not coming in and changing it. And to all the new converts, the reason why I rolled up as hard as I did and made sure that the boundaries were as clear and as stark as I did is because you all are going to be disserved by confusion. You're going to be disserved by confusion. You're going to be disserved by that. I'm here to make sure there's not confusion. I'm going to make sure that there is not confusion. And things will be better for it. Things will be better for it. This is the kind of thing I want y'all to be aware of going forward. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and I am going to open up the telephone lines. And we're going to have you all have the ability to call in. I got something else in particular I want to take care of here also, but I'm going to give you all the opportunity to call in on that also. The number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. Your personal access code to the program that laid the foundation for the new black media. And we're making sure there's no confusion about this going forward. Tonight's program is not about the previous 3 days on Twitter Space. It is not about that. It is about the fact that I recognize that there are some folks who've been sitting up here sidling next to me for a while and whatnot, and I understand you think that's going to occur. I understand that. Some of these folks think I don't see it, or they were under the impression that I didn't see it. And they found out the hard way. No, I see it all right. I see it. It's my job to see it. And I'm not fooled, and I'm not deceived, and I'm not confused. Just because I ain't rolled up on you don't mean I don't see it. I don't have to roll up on everything. This is just my public notice that, by the way, yeah, I see some janky things out there. I see some janky things out there. I see it, but we're going to continue making the narrative. So if anybody had any questions about it, I can say something nobody else can. The telephone lines are now open. The number is 646-787-1933. And I'm going to have a special evening here where my admirers or my haters, let me be very, very clear, I'm not stringing nothing along here. Understand, I'm just setting the narrative straight about me. And if you ever think that you can open your mouth and try to tell me about what should be or shouldn't be said, you're going to try to shame me or something like that so you can position yourself as being in charge, some no-name nigga nobody knows? You think you're going to sit up here and try to castigate me? You're a Mr. Nobody and you're going to substitute me? Good luck on that, dude. Good luck on that one. You gonna need it. Although I'm going to tell you right now, you about 20 years too damn late. But if the world was ever going to gravitate to you, it'd have done it a long damn time ago. That's real ass talk. If they was going to rock with you like that, they would have done it a long damn time ago. That's the point I'm trying to make to you. There's a reason why. You see, let me go ahead and lay it on you right now. I had some niggas sitting up here on my timelines on some Fredo stuff from The Godfather Part 2. Can we just keep it real? You was getting your Fredo on. That's what you were doing. You were standing next to the Don and you were saying to yourself, you know, I could do what he does. Yeah, but Fredo, you done had 30 damn years. Your dad didn't trust you. The people don't trust you. Yeah, but I want to do it. Well, why? Because I want respect. Dude, you ain't built for it. You ain't never going to get your time. What your job is to serve next to Michael. That's your job. That's what you do. That's what you do. It ain't hating on you as dude. Understand your place in the pecking order. You ain't here to give him any advice. You're not capable. You're not here for that. And you all in your feelings because, well, I don't get respect. Dude, you getting what you qualify for. That's the level you qualify for, old Fredo ass nigga. This is what you get. You've had 20 years to prove to people that you were smarter than him. You're jealous for something you can't even do? You are jealous at him for something you can't even do. It's not like people are sitting around waiting for you to start straw bossing and marching and barking out orders. They ain't looking for you. If you had the ability to upgrade them or to get them gamed up, they've had decades, years to listen for you. I will say one person, old Johnny Ace, use the whipping dog. Dude, you can hate all you want to, man. If anybody was checking for you to be in charge, they've had years to bow to your superior wisdom. Ain't no bowing going on yet. He's just the one who came out with it. There's a bunch of niggas, sitting up here quiet as kept trying to do it on the low and whatnot. Damn, y'all should be listening to me. Why are you listening to Jason? Y'all should let me tell you where Jason's going wrong. Dude, you're Fredo. You ain't never gonna call the shots. Not now, not ever. You ain't never gonna call the shots. Not because I say so. This is the other thing, oh hambone nigga. You're never gonna call the shots, and not because I say you ain't gonna call them. Nigga, the people said you ain't gonna call it. They've had forever to listen to you if they were going to do that. You've had years to get the people to get your numbers up if they were ever gonna do it, and they didn't. So how in the hell are you gonna lecture me? Bruh, if folks were checking for you and listening to you like that, you'd have already had them. So you're sitting on my couch in my house with your odd-colored leisure suit on, telling me about how you need to be telling me I need to listen to you because you need respect. Man, if you don't get on your damn roller scooter and ride the hell up out of here. The people ain't never gonna listen to you. They're not. They ain't gonna rock with you. They're not. You have achieved the highest esteem and position that you're gonna get. And you ain't really doing a great job at that, because if you were, you'd be eligible for something higher. This is the pecking order. This is the pecking order. This is what you qualify for. Now, if that hurts your damn feelings, then it hurts your damn feelings. But get used to if I never said this to you directly, to my haters sitting up here talking like that, if you might as well just get used to the view. You might as well get used to the view. You're in the back of the bus. You can be our cheerleaders. You can be our boosters. You can wave the flags and jump with the pom-poms. That's what you can do. But barking out orders, nah, that ain't never gonna happen. Not now, not ever. But you know what I didn't say? I didn't say you can't keep talking. I said that before. You're gonna keep talking. You're gonna keep talking about me. Of course you will. But you know what won't be said? You won't have niggas sitting around saying, damn, I wish I could be like you. Now that one you won't have. We're going to go ahead and take a very brief commercial, non-commercial break. Before I do, I want to thank all of y'all who have shown exactly the respect that you have here. We got thousands of you over here on my backup channel for when YouTube is tripping. We got thousands of y'all over here. You know why? Because they're looking for the word. They're looking for the message. They're looking to hear this every week. It doesn't matter where I am, here they'll come. Not because I'm some great and wonderful demigod. Not because I'm just some wonderful thing to eat. Not because I've just got this incredible ability about me, but because they understand this is reliable. This ain't just another dude bumping his gums on the internet. That's why they rock with me super heavy. They don't rock with me heavy. They rock with me super heavy. And you over there hating because you wish the people rocked with you like that. You wish they rocked with you like that. And that's the reason that they don't. I want to thank everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program here on PayPal, CashApp, Super Chat especially. Y'all showing out over there. But Mr. Richburg, Mark B, Andrew L, and it's a long list of names here, but everybody who's contributed on tonight's program, thank you very much here. They see you in the Super Chat. You're doing all that. So Joara Karanga, New One B1 Media is the lifesaver. I see you, brother, and everybody else. Thank you very much here. We're going to take a very brief commercial, non-commercial break. This is The Black Channel.
Hey, I'm Marcus. For a while, I walked around with this empty feeling inside. I had a full-time job, but not in the field I wanted to be in. But then I came across this book where it was like, the title was just for me. Guide to Being Black in IT. I read the book and the author took me through scenarios and gave me tips. I sat down and read it and it only took an hour. After I got done, I took advice in the book, practiced in the labs, and got certified. Then I literally got up and applied for a position with this company I've been looking at for a while and got the job. Thanks to that book, I worked my job with confidence. If you're looking to get into IT or even in the field, now this is a must-read book. Go to www.beingblackinit.com.
I am black first. I am empowered. I am on code. I am motivated. I am a proud foundational. My name is Maria Sellers, and nothing will come between us. Buy the sci-fi novel, Nothing Will Come Between Us. Order today at Amazon and Google Play. Visit spiritofo1811publishing.com. Our story, our family.
Join 6zeros.net, a forum built to discuss all things relevant to black people. On our forum, a check doesn't mean you're famous. It means your blackness has been verified by our staff.
Sorry, Chad.
We also have premium merchandise with same-day shipping on most orders. And when you're ready for some dope content, check out the 0 Hour blog.
Don't just sign up, post.
I'm having a really good time with you tonight.
I'm having a good time with you too.
Want to go somewhere private? Just for us?
I like that.
Great. Meet me at 6zeros.net. Black owned, black operated.
Hi, this is Brenda Starr, creator of Poetry with a Purpose and author of the book Pressed But Not Crushed. Pressed But Not Crushed is an anthology of political poems that address current and historical issues in American descendants of slave population and African American population. The book describes slaveries and its residuals, Jim Crow segregation, social depredation, and other relevant issues to American descendants of slaves and African Americans, including the current political climate that does not address our issues.
Are you tired of being overcharged and forced into paying a monthly subscription for your Mac and Windows software? Well, if you are, currently we're having a 50% off discount on all the latest Mac and Windows software, such as AutoCAD, SolidWorks, Photoshop, Microsoft Office, and much more. Our 50% off discount will be ending soon, so be sure to text us NEED SOFTWARE to 323-407-8214. That's 323-407-8214. We aim to please, so expect 24/7 technical support, the latest premium software, instant software links delivered to your email, and PayPal's buyer's protection guarantee.
When you need a reliable influx of capital to grow your business, Spectre Capital Finance provides fast, individualized working capital loans with lines of credit to take your business to the next level. SpectreCapitalFinance.com.
This is The Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. Very glad to be with you all here this evening as we are discussing a few things here. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the telephone lines. The number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933, your personal access code to the blackest radio program in existence, the only one of its kind on planet Earth today. Of course, as always, you are welcome to join us. And what I want to do here tonight, I would like to confine the discussion to what we've been talking about here. We can do that. To be totally honest here, I got some other things I want to talk about as well. I really don't want to talk about me, to be totally honest. I don't like that. That's my least favorite subject to discuss. I would much rather talk about me, to be totally honest with you here. However, I would much rather talk about you, not me. I would much rather talk about you. I am my least favorite subject to talk about. But we are going to discuss about making sure, I would like to discuss about us making our own narrative. And part of that narrative is making sure that we control what we're discussing and control what we're talking about and staying on message. Those are really important things. Those are really important things. Let's go ahead and open up some telephone lines here. See if I can try to open that. Caller from area code 469. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up with Black? C-Dub calling out of Dallas, Texas.
All right, CW out of Dallas. What's on your mind?
Man, just wanted to kind of touch base. I know you don't want to talk a little bit about yourself, but just wanted to touch back on base with you for the last couple of days. That was awesome show, great content. I think when you hit it home, when you spoke on about how a lot of the OGs that came up before us in that time, we would always stay on code because they would give us the knowledge as a youngster to kind of be focused on the things that a lot of them were into that they didn't want us to get caught up into. And so we lost track of that once over the years and over the generations because a lot of them had got kind of jammed up in the system or whatnot, just kind of fell apart. And a lot of our youngsters had kind of lost their way and didn't have that type of guidance. So you hit it home a lot when you spoke about it. And so I just want to shout out, give you flowers and appreciate the time. And I'm a new caller, and just shout out to B1 and land my plane.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Thank you, definitely. And that's the whole idea of it here. You got to have order. You have to have order. And that is important. You have to have order. And by the way, you notice I didn't say anything here about anybody in particular here. I didn't say anything in particular here. I didn't say anything about age and respect your elders. I didn't say any of that right there. I didn't even say we need to be respected. I never even said that. What I am saying is you can't just pick up and jump in there and grab things for yourself. It's not a smash and grab. Caller from area code 210. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello, Jason. This is Tony from San Antonio.
Tony from San Antonio. What's on your mind?
So, in regards to your topic, I think one thing that I've noticed personally, and I think probably that would help if we could control our narrative. If one is by analyzing the problem that I find that I think Black people tend to do is we tend to democratize multiple or pretty much any ideas, whether they're of value or they're just complete nonsense. And I think it contributes to things like magical thinking and babbling and without any sense of logic.
When you allow everybody to walk in the room and you give everybody the feeling that their thoughts and ideas are valid, facts are valid. People who can readily identify and then immediately acquire facts are valid. Folks who just feel things and they want us to accommodate their feelings, well, that's not in your own life, privately, by yourself, behind your closed doors. Your feelings can be whatever you want them to be. When you walk out here among other people and say we all need to move as a movement based on your feelings, now there's where we run into trouble, because that's not livable. Your feelings don't refute the laws of physics. Your feelings don't refute the laws of the universe. Your feelings don't do that. So for us to have individuals saying we need to alter what we're doing to accommodate their feelings, that's including folk telling me what I shouldn't be saying or doing, that's not going to work. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Let me get called from area code 701. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, this is Kevin Jackson calling from Carrington, North Dakota.
All right, Kevin, what's on your mind?
Yeah, man, I just want to say, man, ain't been nothing but an honor to listen to your broadcast. You real the real. You know, you, Tariq Nasheed, Professor Black Truth, you got the Democratic Party on the run. You got rid of the old black media. Y'all put that program together. You putting reparations on the table. These little young bucks need to sit their ass down and listen and learn something. And quit putting disdain and dissonance in this movement we're trying to do. You know, it's been nothing but an honor to listen. I've been listening to y'all for about 6-7 years now. And y'all straight up brothers that know what y'all doing. And that's real on real. Gang recognize gang. And fake recognize fake. And people gonna gravitate towards the real. And y'all ain't been nothing but real.
Well, you know, the good news about this is, you know, the good news about this is it's given an opportunity for those people, the snakes in the grass. Every time something like this happens, it gives them, when they think finally, they've been waiting so long, they're not even strategic. They've been waiting so long for somebody to come along who can kick dirt on you maybe, and maybe diminish your name some, that they just hop on it. They don't even think about whether or not it's good or strategic. It's finally, somebody's doing it. And then they can't help themselves. They just jump right on. So the good news is this has helped expose a lot of them. This has helped bring a lot of them to the surface. So actually, in reality, I consider that to be a plus. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. I actually consider that to be a plus. Let them have an opportunity to do that. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Every once in a while, we got to clear the brush. Every once in a while, we got to clear the brush. We got to clear the brush every once in a while. Let me tell you, when he talked about real recognizing real recognizing real has consistency. Real is practical. All the crack of this, crack of that, people, you don't have those around anymore. What you have are individuals. You understand something? You don't have major political parties quoting you or running from you because you're doing it wrong. You don't have people in major political parties quoting you or running from you because you're doing it wrong. You don't have that. When y'all have a multi-billionaire, Tom Steyer, who sat up there running for president and said, I heard somebody said, when it comes to reparations, I heard somebody said, cut the check. I'm like, okay, the word is out. He didn't have to say my name. The word is out. Cut the check, B1. Okay, the message is out there in the consciousness. I ain't clout chasing. I'm cool with it. It doesn't bother me. The word is out. You don't have to respect me, but you're not going to disrespect me. I'm like, okay, he's scared to say the name. That means the word came from the top. We can't ignore what they're saying. The message got through. The message got through at the very highest levels. I'm willing to go with that. Caller from area code 404. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good evening. This is Tina calling out of San Antonio, Texas.
Tina from San Antonio, what's on your mind?
Thank you for taking my call. And forgive me, I did listen to most of this particular program in the beginning, so forgive me if I'm a little off topic. But I also had the pleasure of listening to your Twitter page as well. And so with that being said, there's been a question gnawing at me ever since I have been listening. And that question is it possible to be both Christian and be one, in your opinion?
Sure.
Okay. And I ask that because I know that in Christianity, we believe a lot in forgiveness. And I know you yourself, for instance, is very uncompromising. But that does not negate the fact that Christians like myself turn a blind, we don't turn a blind eye to injustice and also to Black empowerment.
Well, and there's where the Black first comes into play. Because if your position is, well, you know, I can be Black first so long as, see, there's a different matter. You see what I mean? There's a different matter.
Mm-hmm.
That's a different issue if it's, well, I can be black first if, because now you're saying I'm Christian first. So you see, there's why that, if you want to, and for those who might get a little bit queasy and a little bit squeamish when I say that, keep in mind, Roland Martin sat in front of who at that time was the preeminent white supremacist in the world, Richard Spencer. And when Richard Spencer confronted him and said, "Are you a black man?" Roland Martin said, "I'm a man, I'm a Christian, and you all tell me, as Christians, how comforted were you when the preeminent white supremacists of our time said, 'Where the black folk at?' And his response was, 'Well, I'm a Christian.'" Did that comfort you?
No, not at all. For instance, I'm a black woman and I'm a Christian, and I feel comfortable saying both.
Well, black first matters for a reason. And like I say, when he said that didn't comfort very many people at all. That didn't comfort very many people at all. So if you want to know what really matters there, just keep in mind, when Richard Spencer considers himself to be a Christian, you know what Richard Spencer does not consider himself to be?
What's that?
Black. Now think about this for a few moments. Richard Spencer claims he has the exact same religion that Roland Martin does. He claims he has the exact same, that he's an adherent to the exact same religion that you are.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would venture to say that there are some coons masquerading as being one. I can easily separate myself from the fake.
Okay, there's a difference between somebody claiming they qualify under a label and somebody who actually says, "No, I live this." Because you see, Richard Spencer, you cannot de-Christianize Richard Spencer. What's the definition of a Christian? I'm asking you, Tina, what is a Christian?
What is the definition of a Christian?
Yeah, what is a Christian?
Someone that believes and that believes in the Bible and that is saved by Jesus Christ. That believes that Jesus Christ is their Savior.
Thank you. The religion is not called Bible. The religion is called Christianity, derived from Christ. So the Bible is a book that tells you about Christ, but the religion is not based on the Bible. The religion is based on the person. It is based on Christ. So if you believe that Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior, you are a Christian.
Correct.
And you cannot debunk or claim that you de-Christianize somebody based on anything else. That's why you have all of these denominations of Christianity. They all quibble on certain things, but there's one thing that you all must agree on. You must all agree that Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior. Even if you don't believe in the afterlife, even if you don't believe in eternal life, you can't be a Christian and say, "I don't believe that Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior." It's like, well, what are you doing here? We're all Christians. It's in our name. The name tells you why we're here.
But you Mr. Black, though, just a moment ago, you made a very good point. It's not just about saying what you are. It's about what you're doing in practice. And there are plenty of people who claim to be a Christian but are not living a Christian lifestyle, because it's not Jesus accepting Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. That is obviously the main thing, but there is more to that. It doesn't stop there. There is a practice. There is a lifestyle, just like with B1. When it comes to actually showing in your actions and your lifestyle that you live a black first lifestyle, it's the same with Christianity. So someone can say they're Christian all day.
But Christianity allows something that we do not. That thing you were talking about, forgiveness.
Forgiveness.
Yeah, you see, that's, if you want to get into the core tenets of Christianity, well, the book allows a loophole. Black first does not allow any similar loopholes. That's that's
and
that's the
where I see
that's the
these
difference.
controversy coming in.
That is the difference between us and your religion.
Okay.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. As I said, people, you can call me up. You can question me. There are no holes in the game. It has its complete integrity. I didn't say you're going to be pleased with it, but it has its complete integrity. It sure does. Anybody else want to call up and question it? The integrity is whole. The integrity is whole. There are no flaws. There are no holes in the game. The integrity is 100%. Call from area code 281. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Prince out of Richmond, Texas.
Prince out of Richmond. What's on your mind?
Jason, I'm glad you covering this topic. You know, I kind of got in late, so if I'm not completely on topic, please correct me. But, Jason, we've been around long enough to experience different things dealing with people claiming to be pro-black, claiming a lot of things. What the young lady just got off the phone, what some of the other youngsters, young people, what I feel they're trying to say is, be one, like you were saying about the holes in it. It could be compromised. That's what they're saying. For example, they're trying to say it's like a Manchurian candidate. See, like you can pretend to be pro-black and black first. You can pretend to be black first, and it's like what was his name? Benedict Arnold.
Well, for that
Benedict
matter,
Arnold was a war hero.
but for that matter, you can pretend to be a descendant of slaves, or you can be a descendant of slaves who has no allegiance to it. So that's not really something to quibble over, because they can't claim that. If that's what they're worried about, the problem is they're not any more immune from it than anybody else. So it's not like they found some cheat code that makes you immune from people who are disingenuous.
Right, and you can't pretend to be on code. That's what I think they're trying to imply, that people can pretend to be on code. It's like a way of discrediting. Oh, you said on code is this. It's all this, philosophy stuff, different things that because of the fact that you establish, you don't consider yourself to be a leader. But Jason, when it comes to certain things, until you give some credence to it, we don't move. Okay? So when they were talking about voting for people, we listened to everybody and we caught our attention, but we want to know what Jason thinks about it. And that bothers people that you have that type of influence, you see.
Well, they would like to have that. I would personally like to see more people with it. The problem is a lot of these folks out here are disingenuous. Their integrity is not together. They have ulterior motives. It shows in everything that they do. And when you put pressure on them, it falls apart. Now, there's where the problem comes in. And people have found this to be reliable over a long term of time, which is why when Tina calls in and asks questions, can you be black first and be a Christian? Well, sure you are. You can be black first and be a Muslim. Absolutely. Well, I was wondering about that. Well, what's your question? Well, I mean, if you can be a Christian and black first, well, what about Roland Martin or Richard Spencer? Oh. So you see what I'm saying is it matters whether what you have has integrity, and it matters if the people you're listening to cannot actually answer your questions. That's the difference between whether you're sitting around actually being informed and whether you're sitting around actually being entertained. People, I welcome people asking questions. I welcome that. As long as they're asking it in good faith and they're not just being silly, I welcome it. You know why? Because I already know how this is going to end. Now, just because you don't know doesn't mean I don't know. I'll be glad to inform you so you can get better at this. But the bottom line is, if you're telling me I'm a Christian and I want to see how black first conforms to my Christianity, then I'm going to tell you, you've already started bad. Did you not see the word? See, in Christianity, it has its priority in the word. Well, guess what? In Black First,
Exactly.
it's got the priority in that word too. So you see, Black First can accommodate your Christianity. I guarantee it can. I just don't know if your Christianity can accommodate Black First. Now that I don't know.
Because we know of the fact of how many of the churches have become compromised. That now they got guys running around with purses, and that they want you to almost accept, say, do you accept this lifestyle? And it's really whatever the dominant society says okay. The Black church kind of goes along with that. So how can you be Black First when they're worrying about getting funding from the dominant society?
Well, you know, I've told you all, since day one, I've told you all that what you do at church is between you and God. What you do out here on the street is between you and me. And I've said that since day one. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get called from area code 229. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good evening. My name is Roderick Moss. I'm calling from South Georgia.
Okay, slow down. Your name is what?
Roderick Moss.
Okay, your name is Roderick Moss, and you're calling from where?
Yes. South Georgia. Ado.
Okay, you're calling from South Georgia. What's on your mind, Roderick?
Bro, I'm a long time listener, and I was just thinking about something that was said a long time ago about not letting everybody know in on what we're doing. Don't put our business out there for everybody. I try to buy Black owned from my head to my feet. You know, yeah, I got to go to the grocery store and this and that, but as long as we stay, be one, and a lot of people don't think that we got to gather in one place, but it don't have to be like that.
Well, here's the real thing about it here. You don't have to be, I don't want it to be a situation where people come up with a bunch of rituals and things, because that can be misused as well. The number one thing I'm concerned about are, what are your priorities? And can I see that? What are your priorities? Because it's one thing to buy Black. You got folk who buy Black and they'll turn around and tell you they would never marry a Black woman or something like that. They're married to a Black woman and they don't buy Black. Things like that. So what I'm saying is, I'm looking for balance. There are majors and there are minors. The real thing I'm looking at is, where are your priorities? I want to see where that is. I want to know where your priorities are. After that, we can roll with anything you got. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller area code 510. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, it's Black Voltron calling out of Oakland, California.
Black Voltron out of Oakland. What's on your mind?
Well, I was just listening. Nice to meet you. I was just listening to your space last few days, man, and it's kind of bothering me that I used to be, I actually rock with Security Drive, and after listening, just after that first you laid out B1 as clearly as it can be, and the fact that they went back and lied on you and said B1 has to do with Pan-Africanism, that just pissed me the fuck off, because that showed a lack of integrity, a lack of responsibility, and that these people are here to clout chase. Some of them, not all of them. I'm not going to call everybody out. But lying, saying that B1 is just Pan-Africanism, when you clearly explain that it's not, just shows how off code some people are. And let's be real, this is the same thing that happened to ADOS and Freeman breakup, ADOS and FDA. And if we're going to take it back, let's go back in history and just look at, the COINTELPRO program. There's always a few agents, the William O'Neills, that come in, infiltrate themselves within the movement, within the group, and they cause destruction, and they come to steal, kill, and destroy. And the whole purpose is to neutralize
and destroy whatever positive progressive movements we had. I mean, we pushing hard on this reparations, AB 3121, but it's a few people within the space that wants to cause division. And you, Tariq Nasheed, Professor Black Truth, have been stalwart and you've been consistent in explaining what B1 is. There is no confusion. I didn't understand the confusion myself. But then when I saw the people who were starting this bullshit, that clearly right there just showed me that, you know, they're not about the business of black empowerment. It's about the business of, let's destroy the movement, let me get all the goddamn clout. Fuck that nigga Jason Black. Fuck that nigga Professor Black Truth. Fuck that nigga Tariq Nasheed. I want all the clout for my goddamn self. And it's selfishness. Purely selfishness. I had to step away, you know, because once again, you got a bunch of ignorant fucking niggas that destroys a fucking movement every single time we start making some progress. I need people out here to look at this. These people are here to steal, kill, and destroy. That's it. That's their whole purpose, because they want a little bit of clout. They want to be the head nigga in charge. They want to be the motherfucking man on the block, even though they haven't, like you know, clearly explained, they haven't built a goddamn thing, and still are not building anything. Nothing. You don't know where they came from. They hide their profiles. A lot of them up here are trying to, you know, the truth is starting to come out about some of these people, and, you know, they're doing their best to keep themselves hidden and, you know, not know the background. But these people, just by their actions, they just come here to steal, kill, and destroy, man. And, you know, I just want to thank you, Tariq, Professor Black Truth, for bringing this back home, back into the circle, back to our focus to destroying the system of white supremacy. The thing that really bothers me is they do more arguing with black folks than they do with white folks. I don't know if anybody picked up on that. So,
well, I mean, because
I just want to
this would be the only place you could be listened to. You got to understand, I've never in my life, I've never been one to just jump up and be behind anybody on anything. I didn't really want to do this, to be totally honest. I didn't start out saying, oh, I want to be on YouTube and stuff. I just didn't hear anybody else saying what I was saying. And so I just took it upon myself, okay, let me say a little something. I thought I was going to make 3 or 4 videos and be done with it. 14 years later, here we are. I mean, sometimes life goes that way. But I respect people based on their work. Tariq put in work. I respect people based on their work. Marcel Dixon put in work. He didn't wait for me to show up. I respect Marcel because the establishment got worried about him because of what he was doing. Real recognizes real. Hustle recognizes hustle. He's not somebody for me to compete against. I recognize it when I see it, and we can go from there. When you see something that's established and you don't really have anything, the first thing you do is say, okay, let me redefine it so that I can get the attention over here. And that's about ego, but that's not about anything else. And I don't blame the young people, really, to be totally honest with you. Some of these older niggas I see over there, I see some faces and names I recognize. And I'm like, you know, we ran you off the block a whole damn long time ago. So they've been lurking in the background, and what they think is they found an opening. And all I'm doing is making it clear to people, it is very, very important. It's very important that we got to understand from time to time we have to do this. The reason why Roland Martin ain't been able to rise is because we kept our boots on his neck the whole damn time. The nigga can't breathe without us sitting on him. That's why he hadn't been able to rise. Kamala Harris hadn't been able to rise because we keep the boots on the necks. Some of this other stuff here, and this is why I said before, maybe part of the issue was not being engaged enough on it. And I'll take that. I'll own that. I'm a busy person. I can't really do this all the time like that and stuff. But that lack of engagement, that can leave things open where otherwise well-meaning people, and I don't want this to just be a young thing because it's not really they young. I mean, that part does bother me because this reminds me of some rap beef garbage where it's, who are you, young jock, young thug, young Jeezy, young Biddy, you know, dude, this is not about being young. This is about being informed. I was young too, but I wasn't ill-informed. I wasn't uninformed, and I wasn't clout chasing either. So the real thing is, it's like you've had the holes in your game pointed out, and then it becomes about, okay, let me rock my set. When I see these older cats, I'm like, okay, you're not uninformed. You're just against me and against what we're doing. Now that's what you're here for. And there's like, okay, I'll back these fellas over here as long as they're going to be the crash dummies I send out front and the human shields I push out front to go at Jason and what they're doing over there. I can do that and I can hide my hand. Now, that's the thing I'm looking at. And there's been a whole bunch of folks here. They've been kind of just laying in the backfield and they've been waiting for an opportunity or something like this to occur. And the problem that they have is it didn't turn out the way they thought it would.
I would have to 100% agree with that. And like I said, we all explained earlier that one monkey don't stop no show. So if this is their gotcha moment and they want to attack you, PBT, and Tariq Nasheed, I think they erred in their strategy. And this security tribe thing, if it needs to go, so be it. Nobody's above reproach. Nobody's above discipline, and nobody's above getting out the paint when you get off code. I mean, secure the tribe or anybody else, FBA or non-FBA. So, Jason, keep doing what you're doing. Keep leading from the front. Keep leading by example, and be one for life always.
Thank you very much for checking in with us here tonight. Let me get caller from area code 267. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, yeah, this is Tammy calling from Williamsport, PA. How are you?
All right, Timmy, what's on your mind?
Okay, so I just want to quickly ask a few questions. And I'm not sure if this is off topic, but regarding Tariq Nasheed, how do you feel? Because I have a problem that he started a museum, never completed it, collected money from it. He had a beef with another.
Timmy,
yeah.
Are you still subscribed on Patreon?
Yes.
Okay, because I haven't seen you. We might need to see about you.
Well, then watch.
We might need to see you increase your subscription tier over there.
Okay.
Okay. Now,
can I finish?
Can you finish?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That me interrupting you is my way of saying no, you cannot. Do yourself a favor, Timmy. Hang up the phone.
Oh, all right then.
Okay, you're not moving fast enough to hang up the phone, so I will help you. Now, if other folks might host their programs differently when that kind of thing occurs. And by the way, I will monitor that kind of stuff. I don't let you come here and just talk grimy. I don't let you do that. It's not about me being no lackey to nobody or anything like that. I don't let you just sit up here and just talk grimy and whatnot. I meant what I said. You got to earn the right to do that. You have to earn the right to do that. He's got a Twitter space and everything else. If you want to talk to him about his dealings, I don't really respect you calling me. See, that lacks adulthood, whether you're male or female. I don't respect you. I've said this before, and somebody just didn't get the damn point. I don't respect you calling me up talking about another man. I don't respect that. I don't respect you calling me up. If you got a beef with that man's on Twitter damn near every night. You could just as easily call in, and anything you got to ask, he will talk to you about that. And if he doesn't, that's on you. But don't come here and think you found some indirect way of addressing other people, whether I agree with those people or not, by the way, because it might be somebody that I don't really even fool with. I really don't want you calling, talking to me about them. You can talk to me about what I'm discussing. But if you want to sit up here and say, well, here's a segue into something else. If you all were wondering where I stand on that kind of behavior, that's where I stand on that. I'm not saying you got to like them. I'm not saying you got to love them. I'm not saying you got to fool with them in any way or capacity. If you got a problem with them, there's an avenue to handle that. Calling me up during my program discussing something else, that's not the avenue to do it. It really isn't. Now, did I handle her harshly, everyone? By the way, did I handle them harshly? No, but I don't appreciate that. You got an issue with somebody, you go take that issue to them. That's what you do. I heard some things being said about me and my positions that I took issue with. I'm doing tonight's program because I heard some things I took issue with. I didn't feel it to be anything that I really needed to put somebody's name on because I don't want to blow them up, because next thing you know, they'll be making videos or whatever trying to clout chase off me, and you ain't going to be allowed to do that. You're not going to be allowed to do that. I know you wish you could. You're not going to be allowed to do that. I didn't call 15 other people trying to make a point to you. Caller from area code 856. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yes, my name is I'm calling from Fredericksburg, Virginia.
Okay, your name is what?
Anna.
Okay, your Obama phone broke up again. Try one more time.
My apologies. My name is Anna.
Okay. Anna calling from where?
Fredericksburg, Virginia.
All right, Anna from Fredericksburg, and what's on your mind?
Yes, sir. So I did partake in your Twitter spaces that you hosted, all the ones that you did this week. And I just called in to say to you, in relation to the topic tonight, I did notice a lot of people were pulling the whole, I'm going to get on here and I'm going to speak for this group. I'm not going to name the group, but you know who I'm talking about. I'm going to go ahead and speak for this group because I wasn't the one doing this and they weren't the one doing that, but it was the person over here. It seemed like a circle jerk of finger pointing. That's really what I heard. And I'm just like, y'all really want to sit here and argue with this man over semantics, but this is necessary. We have to differentiate ourselves from everybody else because that's been our problem as a community. We're such a loving people, such a kind people, and we want to attach everyone else to us. And every time we've done that, it's always been to our demise. You didn't do anything wrong, in my opinion, by sitting here and drawing a line in the sand. It's necessary. And people got a problem with that, then they don't really want to see FBA progress. That's just my opinion. You really don't want to see it. Because if you have people in the community who are not coons, who are not sellouts, who are not fambos, who are actually teaching us something to help us succeed, because one day y'all won't be here. It's scary because when I think about it like that, I'm like, well, who's going to come up after y'all? That's why I really appreciate everything that you guys do because it's necessary. I appreciate y'all consistency. I appreciate the message. I appreciate the teeth that you keep in your message because you won't back down. Tariq won't back down. Professor Black Truth will not back down, and it's needed. We have to have some semblance of male pillars in our community. It's necessary. So just thank you. I appreciate you.
Well, thank you very much for checking in with us here, Anna, and please do give us a call again. Let me get caller from area code 240. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, this is Mark from DC.
Mark from DC, and what's on your mind?
Yeah, I just wanted to say something real quick about the whole security tribe folks and everything. I'm recently on Twitter. I only made a Twitter in the last few months, really just to hop into the spaces that you and Tariq would host or whatever. And I was paying attention to the security tribe, and everything seemed cool at first. The Twitter space that really made me backslide from them was they had one Twitter space where it was like Biden supporters shouldn't get reparations. And when I didn't hop into the space. I just kind of saw it and I was like, okay, that's some really low rent Section 8 type of thinking. Because those of us who have the wrong political persuasion doesn't exclude you from being eligible for your reparations. I mean, you know, a lot of folks may feel some type of way about Jesse Lee Peterson or Clarence Thomas, but the fact of the matter is we get reparations, so are they.
Okay, well, certainly to be totally honest, that's a nuance. I can understand it, I mean, but it's a nuance. It really, really is. The real thing is, otherwise, they're okay. I mean, like I say, because my real issue isn't with them. My issue is with the folk I see on the periphery who are not members of their little, their little jungle gym. That's the issue that I have. I see folks who ain't even members of them, but they're talking about me. They're mentioning me. So there's the part I'm taking a look at is, okay, I see folk using them as a weapon to try to get at me. So that's how my name got wrapped up in it so big, not because of them. They're pawns, okay? That's why you don't see me going at them like that. There are some sensible, sincere ones in the group. They're kind of hard to find right now, but there's some sensible, sincere ones in the group. But I'm looking at the fact that there are other folk who are like, oh, we can use this and maybe this will finally take Jason down, and it didn't work. But that's the part I'm taking a look at. Nuances we can work our way through, though. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get caller area code 267. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It was Jason from PA, Philadelphia.
Okay, your phone is breaking up on you. Let's give you one more try. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Okay, he is calling us from the Arctic Circle. Caller from area code 510. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Jay from Grand Prairie, Texas.
Jay from Grand Prairie, Texas. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I wanted to address with the woman earlier the question that she asked as to whether or not you can be B1 and be Christian. And I just think that, first of all, what the religion that black people follow is not really Christianity. I like to refer to it as slave Christianity. And no, you cannot be a slave Christian and also be B1, because that religion, first of all, nobody practices Christianity the way black people have been.
Well, here's the real thing about it. I meant what I said. You can be any religion you wish to be and be black first. They are not mutually exclusive. I meant what I said. You can be any religion you wish to be and be black first. But you have to remember what it says. Black first means black first. Now, if your religion is interfering with black first, well, that's a different matter. You're obviously not adhering to black first if your religion is interfering with it. So as I said, there's no doubt in my mind that black first can coexist with your religion. I just don't know if your religion can coexist with black first. Now, that I don't know. But I know perfectly well, black first can coexist with their religion just fine.
Well, slave Christianity cannot coexist with black first, because slave Christianity is based on the concept that if you're black and a Christian, you're supposed to accept all manner of abuse from really anyone, specifically white people. That's not that religion. That's just slave conditioning that's just kind of been passed down to us. So
if your religion is getting in the way there, and if your religion falls victim and black first doesn't coincide with it, well, you got a decision to make. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get called from area code 913. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Amir Stanfield. I'm calling out of Watts, California. I want to first off send my salutes, man, to the new black media, old black media to me, man, because I've been listening for, 8-9 years plus. But what I want to say is, man, for the real short and sweet, for the people in the back, man, you guys know what B1 really means, man. No matter your religion, no matter what your sexual preference, no matter anything, you're black first. And if you don't get that, then maybe this is not for you. But if you can, then you need to get on board, man. And I want to thank you, Jason Black, because you always put me on point and keep me watching and focused on everything, man. And that's all I had to say, man. You go ahead and take it from there, TB.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. And by the way, in the words of Malcolm X and whatnot, you know, this is not I mean, this is a love session. This is a love session, is what it is. We're getting everybody on the same page. You should never be worried about that. You should never be worried about that. This is not a slug fest. This is a love fest. We should never back down, and we should never miss an opportunity to get everybody on the same page. We should never pass that up. Never. We should always take every opportunity to get everybody on the same page. We should never miss that. So I'm taking advantage of it here because I will take advantage of every opportunity to get everybody on the same page here. This is not a slugfest. This is a love fest. I want everybody to get together on this and understand something. These kind of things will occur. This is the kind of thing right here. Some clown ass nigga trying to sit up here and act as if, ooh, y'all gonna let the white folks win. They ain't gonna win a damn thing. This is we always benefit when you get everybody on the same page. We always benefit from that. Ideas are supposed to compete, and then ultimately the strongest ideas wipe out the weakest. That's what's supposed to happen. That's supposed to occur. We are supposed to sweep those aside. That's supposed to happen. We're supposed to do that. We are supposed to put our ideas out there in the arena of intellectual hand-to-hand combat. We're supposed to do that. There are going to be dust-ups. There's going to be rumbles. There's going to be dust-ups and there's going to be rumbles. I come from the streets, nigga. It's going to be dust-ups and rumbles. It is what it is. You don't see me running from it. We've been battle tested. We've been battle tested. We are the special forces. It's going to be like this forever. Anybody who's sitting up here, we going to march off in the sunset. Look here, if everybody was just born on the same page, you wouldn't need a Jason Black or a Black Media. If everybody was just born understanding all this stuff we talking about and everybody is just going to naturally gravitate in the right direction, you wouldn't need me. We would just let people live long enough and then they would just end up where we are by default. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. So that doesn't bother me. There's occasionally going to be dust-ups. There's occasionally going to be rumbles. That's what we're here for. We're here to pacify the streets. We can't sit up here and rest on our laurels. We got to stay on our square. Call from area code 929. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good evening, Jason. This is Daryl from Chicago.
Daryl from Chicago. What's on your mind?
Jason, as always, a tremendous love fest we have going on tonight. I like that. I've been B1 for a while. I've been listening to you for 9 years, and you've been on point with everything that you've been saying. And yeah, we have to step up our game, and the more that get on board and understand and staying on code, the better it's going to be. And like you said, we're going to have our disagreements, but at the end, we're going to agree that we all are on the same page. And that's one thing that we can do. And while we're doing that, we're defeating everything in this path. We're knocking down walls and barriers that were put up, and we're getting past these things. And we're always able to adjust this stuff. We've been adjusting stuff all our lives, so this is nothing new. But there never should be a question about your black first. If you're born black, you are black. If you're religious, then that's nice. But the black first comes first. And it always will come first. And you said it. I don't have to repeat what you said. You said that to the newest two previous callers. And God bless you for saying what you're saying, because I'm giving to my nephews. I got my nephews and nieces and my daughters. They listen to every broadcast since I told them about this. And they've been tuning in and they follow what's going on.
Well, let's ask about something
They have
here.
an understanding.
Think about this for just a few moments, everyone. Think about this for a few moments. What good are you to the group if you are a descendant of slaves, you're FBA, but you're not black first?
How about that?
What good are you to the group if your lineage is straight and your genetics are straight and your genealogy is straight, but your ideology and your mentality isn't? What good are you to the group? Now, let's flip this around. Let's flip this around. Now, and by the way, who's the group? The group is FBA. What good are you to FBA if you're not black first? All right, now let's flip this around. Let me repeat the exact same question. I'm only going to change one thing. What good are you to FBA if you are black first, but you are not FBA? Can you still be of benefit to foundationals if you are black first, but are not foundational yourself?
That's right. You got that right, Jess.
Now, I'm asking you, what do you think the answer is?
Well, if I'm black first, then I'm gonna always be black first. That's the answer. Period.
Right, but can you be a benefit to foundationals?
Yes, I can be.
Even if you're not even if you're not foundational yourself, if you are black first,
yes,
can you be of benefit to foundationals, even if you yourself are not one?
No, you can't.
None true. Try this a different way here. Because, for example, that's what I brought the example of Marcus Garvey and whatnot. He was not foundational. He was tremendous benefit to us.
Yes, he was.
You can be. We got like I said, we talk about Dr. Ben. Yes. Dr. Joseph Ben Yakanan. Was he foundational?
No, he wasn't.
Okay, folks.
We can.
Folks, I'm trying to give y'all the game here so that you understand your ideology has to have integrity so that you don't run into tripwires like this and you start becoming a walking contradiction, which is why I was trying to tell them over there and whatnot. I'm not saying it because it embarrasses you. What I'm saying is you're young and your ideology needs to be updated so that you don't run into things like this. Is there anybody here who would challenge the credentials of Dr. Ben? Anybody? Can we keep you in the room if you challenged his credentials? I submit to you we couldn't. I submit to you that we could not allow you to remain in the room if you challenged the credentials of Dr. Joseph Ben Yakanan. We can't let you stay. You got to go. His dead body can stay in here, but your live one got to leave. I want you all to understand that this is an ideology that has integrity. You can test it, send it to underwriters laboratories and test it under any metric or standard that you want to. It's gonna hold. It's gonna hold.
Yes.
Which is why I welcome anybody to question all you want to. You can test it all you'd like to. It's gonna hold.
Yes.
If you try to flip it or whatnot, that's when it's going. What they do, that's why it broke. The first second I walked in the room, it broke. They tested mine. It has its integrity. Non-foundationals can benefit foundationals as long as they're black first. I don't care how foundational you are. You're of no benefit to foundationals, period, if you're not black first. You're of no benefit whatsoever. So if folk are wondering about what the priority is there, if they're wondering about compatibility, what I'm doing is explaining to you what the compatibility is and how it works and why it works, and furthermore, why it can't work.
Yes.
Because it doesn't matter what your lineage is if your mindset is screwed up. All you'll do is be an enemy
That's
in our
right.
midst sitting next to us. What's the point of being dark-skinned if you have somebody sitting here who has your lineage but is not committed to the people in this room? So black first simply means being on code. And a person, whether they're foundational or not, can be on code with us regardless. I can also name for you a number of folk who are foundational and are worthless to us.
Oh, yes.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. You all learned a few things, didn't you? And by the way, that list of names goes on much longer. I can continue that list of names much longer if you'd like. But I'm doing it for the purposes here of making sure you understand the ideology. Yeah, a lot of folks are saying, damn, that was a good point. Folks, the integrity is intact. The integrity is whole. There are no holes in the game. None. There are 0 holes in the game. But you see, that's the result of decades of testing it. That's the result of that too. Caller from area code 347. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from? Caller from area code 347 has been abducted. Caller from area code 718. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello?
Yes, you're on live. Wake up. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Babs from Brooklyn. I'm not sure if I'm on because I was listening to something else.
Okay, Babs from Brooklyn sounds like she is calling us from under the bed. Do we need to give you a minute to climb out?
No, I'm not under the bed, but I would like to say this: just keep turning it up, and the kids are listening, the right ones, because I've met some like late 27, 30-something-year-old single women. You know, they have children or whatever without the fathers, and you know, I'm one of those people. I'm totally against that, and but they are listening and they're coming together, and they've got some great kids. You know, so just keep turning it up, turning it up, turning it up. That's all I got to say. And then the elections are going on now, and people really need to pay attention because people have money, but they're not even advertising in communities to tell these people that there's elections. And it's and New York needs to be listening. You know, they're gonna have to take leadership from other states, from like Louisiana. You know, people that own land. So thank you for everything. And Tariq, I met Tariq when he was getting started, and anybody that speaks against him, you know, they're disgusting because he's a father to a lot of young boys that didn't have it. And when he's doing what he was doing, I was so respectful for what he was doing, and he's working, and we're all working. All of us that saw that and that are doing that, and you know, hands up to Tariq. And it's John Henry Clark, Ivan Van Sertima, and Dr. Ben. They need to understand. They need to read their books and just become black first. That's all I got to say. And thank you for what you're doing. Bye. Peace out. Bye.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Let me get caller from area code 646. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Onan from Queens.
Onan from Queens. What's on your mind?
Yes, sir. So I actually wanted to address one of the callers from earlier who asked if you can be one and also Christian. And it made me think of something that John Henry Clark said, that a good religion is supposed to serve the interest of its practitioner, and that the person who's following the religion, you know, you're supposed to benefit from that religion. And it's African Americans, foundational Black Americans, who've been taught a slave-like rendition of Christianity, and we've been taught to serve under the name of Christianity rather than have Christianity serve our interest and our purpose.
Well, like I say, I've always said, I know that black first is compatible with your religion. I just don't know if your religion is compatible with black first. And at that point, a person has a decision to make, because, and Dr. Clark talked about this as well, but the bottom line is people take from the religion that which reinforces what they already are. Let's be very clear. People take from a religion that which reinforces what they already are. You see, white people read the Bible and used it for conquest. You had black folk read the Bible and used it for subservience. And this was long after chattel slavery, by the way. But if you scared, you're going to overlook all the parts of the Bible that talk about liberation and progress. Let's be very, very clear. When the black church talks about the children of Israel and the Exodus, they talk about that as a spiritual thing. They don't talk about that as a literal thing. They talk about that in the only way you can exercise that in your life is spiritually. But that it applies nowhere other than the Bible. That's the only place that applies. Now, when it comes to tithing, that can't be spiritual. That one's got to be literal. See, some of y'all here, if you want to know, tell your pastor, it's just, I'm giving you a spiritual tithing. Like that spiritual liberation you talked about and faith without works is dead. Okay, well, I'm giving you a spiritual tithing. I'm giving you my tithes spiritually. The pastor is immediately going to start raising Cain with you. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller from area code 504. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, I'm Alex calling from Portland. Can you hear me?
Alex from Portland, what's on your mind? Good grief, 504 area code in Portland. Negro, if you went any further north, you'd be in Washington. Next step, Canada. You on the run? Are you on the run from somebody, brother? Is America's Most Wanted looking for you? Can I make a little change if I turn you in?
No.
Oh, I was thinking about getting the reward. I was thinking about getting the reward for you.
Just good jobs out here. Got the money, so I had to go with the money.
Okay, I was about to say I thought I could get the bag right quick. I'm sorry. I was tempted. I was like, they probably got Bin Laden money on him. He's all the way up in Portland. So, all right, well, there goes that. What's on your mind?
Well, really, what I wanted to ask you about is most of the young people and black people I'm around are pretty secular. I'm an atheist myself, so I don't come into issues with the religion thing. I come into issues with more of an ethnicity thing, trying to be black first, but trying to get that solidarity with other people who are black, but not necessarily mixed with white. You know what I'm saying? I have a lot of black and Latin friends, a lot of black and South Asian friends. Trying to get something cohesive with them, it's interesting. I don't know how to approach that properly, and I just wonder if you have any thoughts on that.
Okay. Are these people you care about is the first thing?
Yeah.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 30.
Okay.
And these are contemporary people, and these aren't people that I would say are these are contemporary people. People I care about, people that care about me.
Okay, but you're saying they're wrapped up in religion, though.
No. I'm saying with their own ethnic identities, but also being black,
Because that's what I was saying. You were talking before about your being an atheist. You did say you were an atheist, correct?
Yeah, I was mentioning that because that's not the issue I really come up with my contemporaries. It's not about religion. It's more about that ethnic identity. Because I hate the term POC, and that's been messing up a lot of the game for me,
Okay, as long as it's not a religious thing, because that can be particularly difficult to deal with. I was trying to figure out how that plugged in there. But as long as that's not the thing that's holding them up, you all need to learn not to sweat the small stuff, okay? And I know it can be annoying, but the thing is, the problem is powerless people. When a person is powerless, what they tend to do is they take the things they do have control over and they magnify it to a tremendous extent. For example, anybody who works in a nursing home, they'll tell you the old people in a nursing home, they can't walk or nothing else, but when it's going to the bathroom is something that they are militant about that. They are militant. Yeah, but it's one of the only things that they can control. So it sounds trivial to you, but to them, if it's the only thing they can control, That's it, man. They 10 toes down or 10 toes up, depending on their condition, and they're going to be militant about that. So my point is, you have to choose hills to die on. You have to choose hills to battle on. Semantics is not a hill that I'm ever going to fight on. I'm never going to fight on the hill of semantics. You can call us black. You can call us people of color, just so I want to see what your agenda is in doing it. Like if I'm sitting with other black people, if I'm sitting with other black people, that's one thing. Now, if we're sitting among white folk and you use that term, I want to know why you're doing it. Now I want to know why you're doing it. Because I feel like you're doing it for a reason. Yeah. So if you yank out that term people of color and you ain't one of my kinfolk saying it or something like that, and it's not very limited, if you're saying it in a broader context with the broader society, now that I'm going to have an issue with. Now, just you talking to me, I'm probably not going to say anything. You bring this out into the society, wait, hold on a second now, because that has consequences. You see what I mean? You saying it to me directly doesn't have consequences just saying it directly to me, you know. Once you bring it outside of the discussion between you and me, that's going to have consequences. Like, for example, I'm sitting among y'all. You know me. I mean, look, I'm from Louisiana. All right. I mean, I'm prone to colorful language. Jason Black is as articulate and genteel and refined as they come. But you know me. I'm going to flip out and say hoes in a heartbeat. I'm going to say hoes, single mamas, dumbass niggas. You know me. It's going to flip that way. It's going to happen. I got Tourette's, man. It's going to happen. But if you put me on TV, you all have never heard me representing you all in a national forum and talking like that. Yeah. You've never heard me do that. You've never heard me talk on a national forum on radio stations or whatnot. We go on terrestrial radio or whatever. You've never heard me represent you that way. Never. I know the difference between me talking to you and me talking to the world because my words are going to have consequences. And that's the thing I recognize. So I'm just telling you, as far as people in your personal life, you know, I don't really think that's a hill I'm going to die on. There are other things you can fight over, other than how we label ourselves or what term they choose to be most comfortable with using. The real thing is, what's the agenda for doing so, and does it have consequences? Ask yourself, brother, truthfully, what are the consequences of your kinfolk using terms like people of color around you? What are the negative effects that are going to happen to you?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, something I've noticed is like,
whoa, slow down. Wait a second now. Wait a second. But here's my thing. That wasn't a rhetorical question I want to answer.
Well, it feels like erasure to a degree.
How are they erasing you by speaking strictly to you, though?
No, but like when my people talk to me and they use that term so liberally, like it feels like erasure because it's like, why are we fighting for something so broad when we're not being specific about what we need to fix or resolve?
Okay, so now that's a different thing. If they're having a multi-ethnic conversation and a we are the world conversation, now that's a different matter. Now, that's what I'm talking about, bringing it into the wider world. They're trying to bring that into a broader discussion that doesn't just rely to you. What a lot of y'all are going to have to learn, particularly if you're young, y'all are going to have to learn how to charge folk to the game and write them off.
Yeah.
You only have so many minutes of the day. You only have so much energy. You only have so many dams to give. Use them wisely. But for certain folk there, y'all are going to have to learn where to expend energy and where that energy is just being wasted. And if you got somebody who they are comfortable and they are just hell bent on getting this We Are the World minority coalition working, no matter what the evidence clearly shows, then brother, you have to if they're not going to be sensible, guess who has to be sensible?
Me.
So you all the way up there in Portland. So you guys far away from them niggas as you could. So it's, I mean, a little bit more, and he's gonna need a passport.
Well, thanks, man.
So
thanks for letting me.
Thank you very much for checking in with us here. Like I say, just don't stress over it and stuff, man. It's sometimes you're gonna have to sit up here and just say, "Hey, they my kinfolk," but you just gotta recognize there's some folk in your family that you get along better with them, putting some distance. It's like, okay, I can't let you talk to my kids too long because you're gonna coon them out too. So it's no. I gotta put you in your place. Just because they share your genes doesn't mean that they share your values or your intelligence. It just doesn't work that way. Caller from area code 910, you're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yes, this is Malcolm from Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Malcolm from Fayetteville, what's on your mind?
No, I just saw the narrative. I didn't catch the whole story, but when I heard that people were being confused about what B1 meant, I already knew it was a ploy for self-aggrandization and demonization. So what I just got to say is it worked out well. We're getting people to understand. They hate it, that we're not falling back from it, that we're still saying it, and they can play dumb all they want. We just don't need to play dumb about it.
Well, that was the reason I showed up for it there, because when I heard it, I came to the same conclusion that you did. It was very easy to see. There are some people there who are naive and they're just young and they don't know. And once again, those are not the ones I have the problem with. I don't really have a problem with the quote unquote young ones. I told y'all, I literally was on for 4 hours the first night, 4 hours the second night, 6 hours the third night. I lived out what I said. I would rather talk for an hour or 2 hours to a 22-year-old than to talk for 2 minutes to a 50-year-old. So a young person who just doesn't know, I'll make the time to talk to them. That's not a problem. And if any way I've been negligent or deficient in that, I guess I better find the time, because this is the damn result when we don't make the time. This is what happens. But the other thing is, I saw some other folks and I'm like, oh, you're all too knowing. You're here for something else, and you think this is something you can seize upon. Because here's the real thing. You didn't get Black First from anybody other than me. And you all know I don't play semantics. You would never get me to sit here and say, well, is B1 local or global? Well, that's semantics. That really is semantics. Well, no, our intent, we want specificity on it. Yeah, but the real thing is, the only thing you're going to do with this next is break down into semantics. And I know that's where you're going. So it's like, oh, well, they ain't like us. Well, if they have the same mindset, what's the problem? Well, we can call them by a different name. Here we go to semantics. There is no global B1. You're either B1 or you ain't. You're in or you're out. Now, if you don't want to deal with people who are in, I would recommend that you start checking your values. And if your goal is, if you say something like, this person's in, but I don't want to deal with them, I'm trying to figure out, okay, what's your real agenda then? What are you really here for? Because how you do one thing is how you do all things. How you do one thing is how you do all things. So when you start bringing in purity tests that don't actually help us, then I know you're here for something else. I don't mind a purity test that serves us. Shout out Kamala Harris. I don't mind a purity test that serves us. I do mind a purity test that very so clearly doesn't actually serve a useful purpose. So then I gotta ask, okay, why are you insisting on this obviously fraudulent, obsolete purity test? What are you really trying to do? And then we figure out very quickly what we're really trying to do. It's like, oh, no. This is about getting the energy to just go around in a circle.
Yeah, I mean, with the Twitter Spaces and everything that's been going on, I just jump in and out and listen to it, and like, it's just so amazing that you get other people from the diaspora asking like some of the most asinine questions, and it's like, are you really that dumb? And it's not. They're feigning ignorance. And the ones here that are just like, well, why are you doing all that mess? And you just listen to them like, please just go somewhere. But yeah, it is the best thing that is the best thing since sliced bread, as they would say. And I want to keep this going on. Be one.
Black First, brother. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Let me get caller from area code 704. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, Jason. This is Leslie. I'm calling from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Leslie from Charlotte. What's on your mind?
Two things. First off, I just wanted to thank you and tell you how much I appreciate every sacrifice that you guys are making. You, Tariq, Professor Black Truth, just for teaching us and helping us correct the behaviors that's, just not good for what we're trying to do. So I want to give you your flowers now. And the other thing is, I think it's been maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago on your other channel, The Business. I can't remember what the original conversation was, but somehow we got off into like Klaus Schwab, BlackRock, and, issues with that. And I was just going to say, if you could find some time to maybe have a broadcast with that kind of topic, I think that would be good for us too. Because I don't think a lot of us are aware of what's going on in that area of what's going on.
Okay, well, maybe we'll do that there. Check in sometime. Thank you very much for giving us a call. I might do that. Let me get caller from area code 864. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Brother Herb. I'm in Greenville, South Carolina.
Okay, the Carolinas representing tonight. What's on your mind?
Well, I like to make a general statement before I get into my details. The statement is this. When the white man got the black man to believe in a white Jesus, they opened up the biggest can of psychological whoop-ass in all of human existence. Thank you. Now, I'm what you call one of them old niggas, Jason. But longevity does have its merits. I love to read. In fact, I got that book the sister was referring to, The Great Reset by that boy Klaus Schwab, and it's a pretty interesting book. But I would like to offer some clarity on the Christian mythology.
Okay,
the best treatment.
Slow down, because I do not want tonight's program to break down into a theological session. The only question that we have to determine, and the only thing we have to be sure about, is the person understanding which one, whether or not being black first is in conflict with whatever their view of their or interpretation of their religion is. I would suggest to anybody that if your interpretation of your religion is in conflict with black first, then your survival is at stake. Now, if your religion has taught you that your survival does not matter, well, I guess we figured out which one you prioritize. But if your religion tells you that that survival is a priority, well, in that case, black first is going to be something that's essential.
Well, I'll fall back and I'll make a general comment. The young sister who called up, she sounds very educated. If she were my daughter, I would be ever so proud. However, if she had been born in Iraq and her parents were Muslims, her grandparents were Muslims, and her great-grandparents were Muslims, it's almost 100% guaranteed that she would face east several times a day and worship Allah, because people believe what mama and grandmama teach them. And as I deploy my landing gear, I say BMFM1. Thank you, brother.
There's a new twist on it. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. That's not incompatible either, by the way, so certainly. And he's quite correct about that. Like I say, with all the talk of religion and stuff, basically based on where you're at, that actually is the biggest determinant of what you would believe in. So there are some people who have chosen their religion, but just keep that in mind. But my real thing is, it doesn't matter whether you're Christian, Muslim, Buddhist. No, your religion is not, black first is not incompatible with your religion. Black first isn't incompatible with your religion. I just don't know if your religion is going to be compatible with black first. I just don't know if that's going to happen. But I know that black first will never be in conflict with your religion. I just don't know if your religion will not be in conflict with Black First, though. Call from area code 240. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good night, Jason Block. My name is Dwayne. I'm calling from Nices, South Carolina, by way of Trinidad and Tobago.
All right. What's on your mind, brother?
Well, you know, I've spoken to you a couple of times. Well, I'm that brother that my wife and I, we live in an RV and we travel around the U.S. And you've saved my life. You've changed my perspective, because the thing about B1 that reverberates for me is that B1 is about survival. Yeah, I'm from Trinidad and whatnot, but before I got in tuned to B1, I used to go about saying, yeah, I'm a trainee, whatnot, so forth. But my culture does not necessarily mean that I'm going to survive out here with all these white supremacists running around. You know, I might see somebody looking at me and want to talk to me or whatnot, and I'm thinking, well, yeah, they're just interested in where I'm from. They hear my accent or whatnot, not knowing that that person is out to get my head. Once I got in tune and tapped into B1, I realized, I need to really watch my P's and Q's. I really need to watch my back. If I'm driving through Oregon and I stop in Brookings and I realize, this is a sundown town. Before, I never used to focus on stuff like that. If I'm going through North Carolina, I stop in Surf City and I go to look at the sunset at the pier. That's a sundown town. I got to be mindful of that kind of stuff. Before B1, I never cared about that because I didn't know about it. So what am I? I'm B1 first before anything, before everything. And I'm trying to get, well, I'm not actively trying anymore. I stopped. I was trying to get my family, some of my friends involved to try to see, where I'm coming from. I still very much share all of your content on my social media just to, to do my part, to share the word. However, I am not out here spending countless time just trying to, get people to see where I'm coming from. I'm not going to sit here and just try to, get people to, do this. You need to look at this. No, I'm done with that.
I think that's a very good point to make.
Of the regular stuff.
You've actually made an excellent point here tonight, is that being on code isn't just something that affects, it's not just an introspective thing. It is a perspective thing. It gives you a proper perspective of the world, because by seeing yourself on code, you now see the world the way it actually is. Not the way that you were told it should be. But once you become on code, then you start recognizing and shouldn't say recognize, you start accepting it. You start accepting that things that previously you knew that this was an issue, but you didn't take it seriously. Once you get on code, then you start taking it seriously. And as a result, things that previously, let's just be honest, you dismissed, you've been a victim of racism in so many ways and you dismissed it. All of a sudden now you're not dismissing it anymore. And it's not necessarily these, as you said, in some instances you can stay out of trouble altogether. But if something does happen, you actually have a proper perspective on it. Because if you're telling yourself there is no racism and white supremacy, then you're going to keep walking off into situations where they're just bopping you over the head and you're in denial. And you'll keep entering those situations over and over and over again. How can you avoid it if you deny its existence? How can you possibly avoid it if it's there and it's real, but you're just saying, nope, I don't believe that. I deny that. It doesn't have no efficacy. Ain't no white supremacy over me. Ain't nothing supreme over me. And then you walk in the damn court and they exercise supremacy all over your ass. Things like that. So being on code allows you to see the world the way it really is. So it doesn't just have benefits internally, it has benefits externally. So there's a point that I haven't made previously, but I'm glad you mentioned that, because you are absolutely right. It has internal benefits, but amazingly enough, it has external benefits too.
You're absolutely right, Jason. And my last point is, if you're not B1, then basically you're just given into escapism. And you're telling yourself this lie that nothing else, that everything else is important over being black first. And that's a damn lie. B1.
Black first, brother. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Got your mind right. Let me get caller from area code 901. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's going on, Jason? This is Elliot out of Memphis.
Elliot out of Memphis. What's on your mind?
So I'm just going to try to run through this without going too long. But there's in the Bible, if you are a believer and you're B1, the book of Nehemiah is a great example that breaks down being on code, having an agenda, and dealing with opposition. And when I kind of read through that book several times, it's a perfect segue to bounce off of B1, being B1, and being a believer or a Christian. And real quick, what the book of Nehemiah talks about is Nehemiah going back to rebuild the wall of Jerusalem. And when he went to rebuild the wall of Jerusalem, he faced opposition with the other kingdoms around. They faced people trying to mess with them, the rumors. And when Nehemiah got the people together, he didn't get carpenters. He got the people in the community who were carpenters or people who people who did odds and end jobs in the community. He got them together to help rebuild the wall. And here's something that really, really stuck out for me. When the community heard rumors of the other kingdoms coming to come and kill them, Nehemiah put guards on the wall. And here's the thing that really, really get me. It said that he armed the guards and the workers. He said they had a brick in one hand and a sword in the other. Again, he had a brick in the workers, the everyday workers in the community who were rebuilding the wall of Jerusalem. The Bible said they had a brick in one hand and the sword in the other. The brick represented the work, putting the work together, and the sword represents if the threat does come, put the brick down and handle your business. That's something Christians don't talk about. They don't talk about doing the work and having to put the work in at the same time in case the threat comes. And I thought that was a very, 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 very awesome scripture to talk about rebuilding the community, and it's in the book Bible, and it's in the Bible.
I think that's a very good point that you make here. I think that is a very good point that you make, and I want people to be very, very clear about this. Saw some folks in the chat room here. I want to be very clear about this. That is not Bible babble what he said. That's actually the point that he is making. The brick, by rebuilding the wall in Jerusalem, that's your adherence to God. That represents your adherence to God. That represents the religion. The sword represents your adherence to understanding and accepting the world that you live in. That you won't rebuild anything if the folks here sneak up on you and you're defenseless. It won't help you at all. So what good does it do for you to be a Christian? Or in this case, at that time, you wouldn't be Christian just yet. But what good does it do for you to do that and you don't have a proper ideology that is grounded in reality? So you're a great Christian, but you're a great religious believer, but you are out of touch with the reality around you. So what the caller is saying is that the brick represents your religion. The sword represents black first. The sword represents your being on code. How are you going to help your fellow workers if you don't have the sword in hand? By acknowledging that you are a people under siege. You can't be on code if you are in denial of the fact that you are a people under siege. Blackness cannot be understood outside of white supremacy. As Dr. John Henry Clark said, and others have said, blackness wasn't a thing until the Europeans showed up. We didn't have that. It wasn't a thing. Okay, now it is a thing. And we can either adapt to the environment and survive, or we can live in denial of the environment and go and perish. Those are your options. So nobody is telling you that you must stop building the wall. I will never stop anybody from going to church. They can go build the wall. They can do all that stuff. But if going to church makes you in denial of white supremacy, if your going to church makes you in denial of the system of white supremacy that you live in. If that's what you got from your religion, you need a new religion. If that's what your religion is teaching you, is that you don't live in the world of white supremacy, or it's not that big of an issue, or somebody else is going to take care of it, or pray about it. If that's what your religion is telling you to do about this system of white supremacy, you need a new religion.
And Jason, like I love what you said. It wasn't religious babble. Me reading through that really, it actually segues perfectly with the B1 philosophy and being a Christian. Because for a long time, I was in conflict with Christianity not wanting to protect itself, protect and advance the kingdom. And I was in conflict with that. So when I ran across that scripture or that book, the book is not long. It's a very easy read. And I always bring that scripture up whenever Christians talk about not defending themselves. I say, well, no. It's in the Bible where Nehemiah and his people did defend themselves. The threat never came, but they were prepared. And another part about that is when they was rebuilding the wall, they helped rebuild the wall with the rubble that was already there, which is kind of unheard of. They didn't just it wasn't just off new bricks. They rebuilt it with the rubble that was already sitting around already. So it's a lot of good stuff in there that, again, segues with the B1 philosophy. It segues with the Black community rebuilding. It all makes sense.
Well, definitely, like I say, if your religion is not empowering you, you need a new religion. If your religion is weakening you, you need a new religion. If your religion is not serving your best interests, you need a new religion. A religion that tells you that your purpose for living is to martyr yourself, you need a new religion. You need a new one. Which one? I don't know. Something that don't tell you this. That's what I will tell you. It's one that doesn't tell you this. Thank you very much for checking in with us here tonight. Let me also say something else here. I want to talk about why I do this. Brothers and sisters, I've been doing this now, as you all know, well over a decade. And a major part of this, one of the reasons why I stay as steadfast about this as I do this for you. I do this for you. I don't have any biological children of my own. So you have to understand, the children I'm doing this for are yours. Yes, that includes the single mothers, that includes the single fathers, that includes the dope fiends, that includes everybody. I do this for your children. I do this for them. A lot of you didn't have the information or upbringing. A lot of you didn't have that. So I put this out there on your behalf. For those of you who can't articulate it, for those of you who don't have the information articulated, for those of you who don't have the ability to answer these questions as coherently or cogently, that's who I do it for. And I do it for you. I do it because going forward, we need to have a cohesive understanding of who we are as a people in this wicked system and what it will take to defeat it. And it starts first and foremost by being on code. When you are on code, then the foundation, now you can build an economic foundation now that you are on code. Let me say that again. The only thing more important than money is being on code. Once you are on code, you can now build an economic foundation. Now that you're on code. So if you want to know the reason why it is I am so steadfast and determined and yes, militant about this, it is because it's done on your behalf. It's done on your behalf for you, your children, your nieces, your nephews, your grandchildren, to be that voice that maybe you don't have. But it's got to be a reliable voice. It can't be one just saying things to be saying things. It's got to be vetted. It's got to have integrity. It's got to be intact. It's got to be whole. And yes, it cannot be afraid to lead. It cannot be afraid to lead. And let me be clear. Even most of the folks who were disagreeing with me this week, particularly if they were younger, they're going to fall in line also. You know why? Because they're going to have to deal with the real world. And they're going to have to decide whether they wish to keep believing in somebody's philosophy or whether they want to have an actual ideological strategy. And eventually, practicality takes over. And when it does, it changes everything. So I'm not really worried about that. I will tell you one thing. If they had saw me to be weak and compromising, that would have hurt them more than anything else. That would have hurt them more than anything else. If they had finally heard me address this and I started equivocating and compromising and negotiating, now that would have hurt more than anything else. So I did this the way I did this because it shows that example. And I am honored to do so. The only thing I should have done differently was probably weigh in a little bit, just a little bit sooner. Just a little bit. And to everybody else here who I started the program discussing about, well, by all means, you are as always welcome. And thank you for taking out the time to expose your real motives and to show what you were really about. You thought you had found your opening. You didn't find it. I imagine you'll try again at some point in the future. I imagine you will. Don't worry. I'll be watching you then too. Just not very much. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here tonight. I want to thank everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program on PayPal, Super Chat, Cash App. I want to thank all of you for doing so. Thank all of you for being here. And if you are new here to the Black Channel, welcome to the Haven of Intelligent Black Thought. We do this every weekend, over 141,000 subscribers on my main channel. And how many do I have over here on my backup channel as well? Oh, I gotta get that number to come up here, so it's moving slow. It's not my fault. It ain't my fault. But definitely, I want to thank you all for joining us here on the TBA channel as well. Like I say, YouTube has been messing with it on the main channel, but we ought to have that fixed up here in a little bit. We got 40,000 subscribers over here. If you came here from a main channel, go ahead and be on this one as well. Go ahead and be on this one as well. Hell, if I ever got this one to catch up to my main channel, maybe I would go ahead and it gives y'all the people like using super chats so they can have their messages seen. So I don't know. Maybe I would do that over here as well. So look, you all know I don't live off of that, so it doesn't bother me one way or the other, but I do appreciate your support. So definitely go ahead and make sure you click the subscribe button on this channel as well. Always good for you to be here. Always good. I'm never going to get rid of this channel. I'm never going to do that. So it's always good for you to have access to this one here as well. Thank you for that. And if you haven't been to our website, blackchannelfilms.com, you want to go there and check out our groundbreaking best-selling documentary work, 7 a.m., Gentrified, Race War, all available on DVD on streaming. Go to blackchannelfilms.com. That is blackchannelfilms.com. I want to thank all of you for showing up here this evening. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your interest. We are going to be discussing something new tomorrow. I wanted to address this tonight, but be aware, we are going to be addressing something new tomorrow because unlike some of these other folks, I ain't got a clout chase and I don't have to milk things. I've said my piece on it. So join us here for tomorrow night for a totally new subject because there are a few things in particular I want to talk about. In the meantime, this concludes tonight's broadcast of The Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, The Black Authority. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember to eat this, drink this, sleep this, think this, breathe this, feel this, live this, love this, everything we are. Black